Hey, what do you know? It's episode 217 of A Toy Kind of Mood. I'm your host, Travis Moody, and I'm with the other host, most there. Beautiful Bobby has returned to
Yeah.
a kind of mood. What's up,
Yeah.
dude?
What's up, buddy? If okay, I'm gonna come out and say it now. If you see me putting like tissues on my nose, I apologize. So my wife and I moved to Albuquerque. We're no longer in Texas. We're in New Mexico. Which, um, if I could, Chap, if I could, actually, I, I think I sent you a picture. Like right around our parking lot. Like I take the dogs out, and there's like mountains. Like it's beautiful. Um, The problem is that I don't get bloody noses, but I get bloody noses. Like it's not dripping, but it's like I gotta like always get the blood out. They're like, God damn it.
I was
Um,
gonna say the beard is showing your meth cooking game right now. Me too, man. Me too. This is a haven't booked work in 5 days beard right now, and then we're gonna be joined by another beautiful bearded man, and hopefully in a little bit probably scrambling from work. But
yeah. So
yeah.
this is my moving and packing beard. It'll be trimmed for next week. Oh, dude. So I found a really badass toy store here called
Toy store,
it's a
toy
toy.
store,
It's a toy
New
store,
Mexico's toy store.
but it's got it's one of those like vintage shops that just had like a whole wall of Transformers, a whole wall of GI Joe, like wrestling figures I hadn't seen like in hand. I was like, oh shit, okay, like
Well, you better buy it all up before they raise the price, because
dude.
everyone's got a reason to.
Here's the thing: I did my taxes today.
You're laughing.
I had to
Talk.
show I had to show Ashley all the receipts for the first half of the
Oh
year.
no!
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do not want to be you right now.
Dude, luckily it was a saving grace. It was a saving grace, but she goes, you are permission. This is one time permission. You got lucky. No more." I'm like, no, it was a dude. It was a. I was shocked. I was like, oh shit, I was Travis level. Oh shit.
But look, we're lucky because we got two guests tonight. One surprise guest joining us later on. But speaking of beautiful bearded men, we have another one joining the
Yes.
show. Of course, we're talking about Baldy Locks. He'll be joining us. He might be running a
Yes.
little late. But we got right back. I mean, I feel like we just had you, Patrick. What's going on? Riot
Yeah, dude.
Press's Patrick Thomas Parnell. What's going on,
What's
man?
going on, guys? See now, Bobby, what you got to do is you have to start a toy company. So that's all; those are all write-offs. As soon as you do that, or get a YouTube channel and just use that.
That's how I was able to, because I'm an editor for a comic book website. I said, hey, all write-offs. It was a saving grace. It was a
Yeah.
saving grace. But she was
That
like,
was the
"Hey,
saving grace. Yeah.
we could
Like
have had
my,
it
like
like
like my wife is a genius when it comes to putting our taxes together, and like my CPA just loves her because like taxes for everything. I mean, like like when we go to Joe Fest, like if we're stopping to get skills, gas, whatever, she keeps all those receipts. And it seems silly, but like you said, that stuff like adds up.
yeah,
It's
because
only going to get worse because of the
yeah,
topic we have tonight, toy news and tariffs. Tariff talk. Are you done collecting? But look, before we ask people if they're done collecting, I want to say hi to the good folks in the chat room. Usually it doesn't
yes.
take us 4 minutes, but we got SCS Dog, aloha all. Chris
What's
G,
up?
evening to you. E Worthy. What up, guys? Hello there. Litretro 9044. Got David R in the chat. Hello, how's it going? My man Sabir, what's good? Good evening. The collector with the popcorn. That's right.
Mm.
Yo, bros, Rich is in the house. GI bro.
Yo, bro.
Gun Bunny. Oh yeah, we got Gun Bunny Customs here. And you're watching without Tony Romo. I appreciate that. No Tony Figs and Gun Bunny's here. I appreciate that. All right, and then we got Ken Best going through my tax stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. We like our friend Steven was like, "Oh, I want to be on to talk because I love politics." We're not going to get like too political. We're going to talk mostly about toys and tariffs, which is a political thing. But I was a little afraid to have Steve on, Bobby. I'm not going to lie. I was like, "You go on next week. You go on next week, talk about GI Joe, and then if you want to go off on the tariffs, I won't be here to."
At least I am tempered. We'll put it that way. I'm tempered in my my rant.
This is the most dangerous episode we've ever done. So chat
yes,
away,
it is.
people. David Warren Hernandez,
What's up, DWH?
good. Stone Capybara, Antonio Bandaris.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Antonio.
I like it.
Buenas noches.
I like it. Professor Soundwaves. I like that. All right, we're gonna talk some.
That. Man, I should have had that as my when I taught politics. That should have been my fucking email. Professor Soundwaves. Damn it.
It should have been. Stanley says for Pulse next Tuesday the 15th will be the tail of the tape with the first pre-orders for GI Joe Classified. Yes. So next week, a Toy Kind of Mood 218 will be about because we're gonna get all those beautiful pictures from Shooting the Galaxy. Matthew Cohen. We're gonna get the pre-order info. We're gonna know the prices, right, of GI Joe Classified, whether it moves up or not. So it's gonna be a hot week. I think we'll have the rest of the gang will be on next week along with you, Bobby. As far as I know, I'm not because I'm heading to WrestleMania. And for WrestleMania weekend, Patrick, are you going to WrestleMania weekend in Vegas?
No, I wish I was. I've been to 2 WrestleManias for the record, so I paid my dues. I went to WrestleMania 20 in Madison Square Gardens, and then I went to I think it was like 31 in Orlando. But yeah, I'm quite jealous of you because Las Vegas.
I'm not going to WrestleMania.
Oh no,
I'm going to WrestleMania weekend, and I'm going to I think 4 or 5 indie shows. And
dude, that's the best part about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to be a party the whole time. So yeah, I'm going to do a lot there. Go to the WrestleMania Superstore, go to WrestleCon. Get some signings, meet up with friends. I'm gonna watch WrestleMania on a rooftop in Vegas. It's got 75 screens, got reserved tables, so that'll be cool. But I am not paying $400 or $500 in this climate to have a nosebleed seat when I can watch it on the screen, watch it on Peacock. Now, no Mania in person.
The only reason why I went to the one in Orlando was because a friend of mine was a producer, and she got me ground floor tickets for like $100. Exactly. So I was like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Cool. We got some chats, but we will talk about the WrestleMania Superstore has an exclusive, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. But before we get into the toy news and the tariffs, let's talk about what you're doing lately, Riot Press, Patrick, right now, and give us an update on this one's a favorite of a Toy Kind of Mood, American Ninja X. So give us an update on it.
Well, so I think I was on last when we didn't make it, right? Or was it just okay? So
I think it was close. Yet it hadn't been confirmed yet. I think, or maybe it was actually after. No, I think it was when it didn't happen. Yeah.
It didn't happen because we were talking about the second chance. So I mean, this is still going on. We were actually talking about it today and yesterday. Just talking about for me, this has to be made. This is one of those things in my life that I have to make. I was talking to Ace because Ace is the toy manager on this project, and I was just asking him, bare bones, let's just start with bare bones, because when we did the the crowdfunder, we came out of the gate swinging, you got everything right away, and I was like, no, we have to kind of layer it where it's the guy that you see on the right, that's the guy that you're gonna get for $39.99. You know what I'm saying? And then if you want the heads, we're gonna have to get stretch goals for those. For the soft goods, there's gonna be stretch goals for those. We're gonna make people work for that stuff a little bit more, and I think that will get us there where we want to be. What's up, Tony? 3 whiskeys. All right. But
just 3 out of 5. Just 3 out of 5. Not because without him, without KJ, there's no 5 whiskeys, right? I'm sure. So
but yeah, so I mean, this is definitely happening. It's just sometimes you just have to find a way to do it, and that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And and there's actually going to be some surprises on actually how we're going to be making it too, as well. Where we're going to be making it,
Okay.
and that all that stuff is going to come out as we get closer. Like, we're going to launch the Kickstarter during Joe Fest, so it'll be Joe Fest weekend that this goes live for the second time. And before we had like a Tiger Force version of both characters, the U.S. Assassin and American Ninja. We had an all white and all black version that you could unlock.
Right. Yeah.
We had a shattered glass version of American Ninja, and then
this was all the stuff we went over on the last episode.
Yeah, and all that stuff was like you could unlock it, and A suggests just put it all out there, put all the colors out, all the colors all at once, not the accessories, just the bodies and stuff like that. Just put it all at once. So we're gonna, it's gonna be a little bit of a different campaign, but it's gonna happen, and I think people will be happy, and I think once it funds, it's gonna get momentum, and people are gonna get like the Michael Dudikoff head, and they're gonna get like the soft goods, and they're gonna get all that stuff. We just have to get that first goal. Once we reach that first goal, then it's off to the races.
Beautiful. All right, that's a fantastic update. Jeremy, what's up, man? Good to see you like 3 weeks in a row now. It's like I love it. You're back in the ATKM saddle again. Where's the Sonic Fighters version?
That's a good idea, actually.
All right. Well, there you go. He's looking for some royalties there. Thank you for the stream, guys. Stone Capybara. I appreciate you taking your time on your lovely day. Yes, of course. These shows are like, it's a 24-hour job for many of us. Yeah. So let's move on to the next thing. We'll fly through some of this because we got a lot of toy news. We got 2 more other people going on the show. So we got Last of the Seekers. You want to just give us some quick, as I go through the slides, maybe just some quick updates or quick
Sure.
info on it.
So this is wave 2 of Last of the Seekers. We did wave 1 again with Ace's help, and it came out great. Did really well. Still doing well. Like, we're still selling lots of Maxes. Max is the main character. This goes along with a comic book that I do, and we just had pre-orders up on our website, and we were just about to put pre-orders up on BBTS today, actually. And then I had a chat with Joel, and we kind of slowed the row a little bit on that for a minute.
And speaking of that, we got the info that he just posted. We're gonna talk about that in our tariff section.
You got the email?
Yeah, we got the email. We read it. We're gonna talk about it a little later when we get the guest on. But let's run through what we got here on the screen.
So the guy on the left, Stealth Drone number 2, he did so well the first time. He was everyone's favorite. But unfortunately, we had about 40, I forget, my wife knows the exact number, maybe 40 to 60 of them got damaged in transit. So
sheesh.
yeah, and it's weird because and we're constantly learning stuff about logistics companies and stuff like that, but no one would take responsibility for it. So we basically had to eat it.
Oh my God.
And so we owe people about 40 of those robots, out of pocket.
Wow. Now, on top of everything that's going on,
Yeah.
you have this situation.
Yeah.
Man,
But I think he came out rad. He's a little bit darker than the last one, which I think people are going to be into. And then Sandlot, he's a new guy. Kind of goes along with the comic book story. There's a second issue that will be out by Joe Fest. Yeah, I mean, there we go. wanted to show some of the great balancing techniques of our robots there, doing a little kick.
Yeah, he's got some Sagat level balance there.
That's
Some
right.
shade of Sagat level
And
balance.
then the guy on the right is my favorite. I forget who it was, but they did like a Joker. It was a third party company, and they did like a Joker vehicle. And I was like, I want to do something kind of like that. So his name is Wildcard. And yeah, there he is in his packaging.
Some packaging right there. Yeah, cool.
But
Very cool. Yeah,
so
the Joker stuff is always a
so
favorite.
these are not on Big Bad at the moment, but they still are on our website if you're interested.
And what is the website? We'll put it at the bottom.
It's well, if you go to riotpressproductions.com, just hit shop, and there's a bunch of stuff on there.
Nice. We'll do that right now. Pressproductions.com. What else is up on there? All the Last of the Seekers and your comics.
Like a couple of the Last of the Seekers from the Last Wave, and then Johnny Phantasm, which is another comic book and action figure that I make. That's on there, and we got shirts, we got children books, we got all types of stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, just go over there and just check it out.
Very dope. All right, and then just more of the packaging of what we got. Cool.
Yeah. So again, like last time, a lot of the packaging got kind of damaged. So Ace was like, let's make this cool box it goes in. So it actually comes in like it comes in the clear box, it comes in the white box, and then it comes in a cardboard box now. So
yeah. So how did they get damaged?
No, well, they weren't like
get run over by a tank.
No, they weren't packaged like that last time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So usually when you order stuff at Ramen, they like their boxes come with these little corner protectors on their cases, and the logistics company that they were using that at the time, they're not using them anymore, took the things off the edges, taped them up all weird, and then it looked like someone just rammed them with a forklift. But you live and learn, and
yeah.
I know Ace and Ramen has fixed all their shipping issues, so they're all good.
Cool. And then all right, so that's the Last of the Seekers. We got the ticker on the bottom. Go check out the website and copy some goodies. All right, so I gave you guys a homework assignment, right? And I read it twice myself because you don't really have to read anything. You just kind of look at it. But it's G.I. Joe time. We're going to talk about a lot. I just want to preface this. There's a lot of G.I. Joe on this episode, even though there wasn't really supposed to, thanks to, these two comics and the full force. But right now, we're going to just talk about the comics, and we'll circle back around to classified. Bobby, you're a resident comic guy. I mean, you work for a comic company. So talk to me about just tell me what was your favorite between the two silent issues this week on A Real American Hero? I mean, we got Jinx today, and then we got Beachhead last week. Do you have a preference? And talk about it. Tell me why.
It's weird. Okay, how do I start this? First off, but we've had both of these covers on our like FOC and New Comic Book Day, like what books you should be picking up, because the covers are so amazing. Okay, for art wise, I'm gonna go Beachhead with Phil Hester. I thought Phil Hester did an amazing job. I've loved Phil Hester since freaking JLA and Green Arrow. Like, he's an amazing artist. And there was some really good stuff there. However, I felt the Jinx issue was really good. Actually, was really damn amazing with the pacing, because it actually made you feel, because it's a ticking time bomb situation,
right,
and it makes you, it's the same way. I'm going to toot my own horn. I interviewed Nick Robles 3 weeks ago. Go to coverpress.com, check out the interview. It's written. But Absolute Flash, And when you read Absolute Flash, he drew it in a way that it's very kinetic. It's moving, like you flip the pages and it's moving along while you read it. This was the same way. This, I thought Danny did an amazing job at like really amping the stakes up. And because these are, you know, silent missions, there's no dialogue, there's no text, there's no nothing. It's just beautiful artwork that really makes you go, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, okay.
Yep. And I will say this, I think it's worth, because there's no words, sometimes you might go through it too fast. I am glad that I brought this up on the show because it gave me another reason to look through them both. And they were both, I would actually say this one was far more enjoyable the second time around.
I'll have to go
While
back
this
and read
one,
it again.
because it's a, okay, sorry, Bobby, say it again.
No, I was just saying I'll have to go read that one again. I will say, and I'll let you get back to this, Travis. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, you're good.
Because I bought the Beachhead book and I read the Jinx one online, so I don't know if there's something missing from the Jinx one, but the Beachhead one, the actual physical one, had a lot more in the back of like, here's our thought process, here's, you know, where we were going with it, and there's a lot more detail on what's going to happen, what's actually going through the artist's mind while he's creating it. I thought it was really, really cool how they did that.
Right, because as an ode to a real American hero 21, you'd want to know what their inspiration was. All right, Patrick, you're a guest. I know you like were downloading these right before we went live. Were you able to check out either of these comics?
Yeah, well, I was for some reason Jinx wouldn't download for me, but Beachhead did.
Cool.
So
Great.
I seen those Jinx images for the first time. I'm kind of shocked a little bit, especially that cover all the way to the left.
Yeah, very young. That kind of threw me off. That's like some
I'm not really...
comic book store. Yeah, it's like very anime and young looking. Like it was kind of weird. Yeah.
It's like, I'm not into it, but I mean the Beachhead stuff is gold. I mean, especially that cover all the way to the right.
Yeah, that's the main cover A. Yeah.
So what you're seeing there is, it's almost like a Masonic symbol. It's like a V shape and then like another V shape on top of it. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm talking about. And then it's the composition is just, it's beautiful, you know. I mean that, like, I think probably the person who drew the one in the center is probably the one who drew the Jinx. That with the
that makes sense. Yeah, that was the same comic book store was selling both of those, and that was the only special edition I couldn't find. And then so the issue on the left is B, and then the issue on the right is B on this one. And then I think I should have like did a better job with the panel, but yeah, there you go. Yep.
There is one. There are 4 covers. I mean, there are 4 issues, I think, of the silent missions, or 5. Because there's Beachhead, Jinx, Spirit is next, and then Duke.
What's the missing one? We have Spirit and Duke. What's the other one?
I can't.
Did you say?
I might.
Yeah. Does anybody know the Jeremy? Where are you? Or Ryan Daly? You guys are both in the chat. Help us out. Tell us who
reason I bring that up is because there's a 1 in 25 cover for each one that it's by Jorge Flores, I think. And it's Roadblock. There we go. Thank you. That's the 5th one.
Oh yeah, that's hard to remember because how can Roadblock have a silent issue?
Exactly.
Like, I said that about Beachhead though, and they made it work. When I first read it, it was like, Beachhead, I know he wears a balaclava, but a silent issue doesn't work for me. And I kind of just went through. It was like cool art, whatever. But the second time, I was like, holy shit, the story is amazing. Like on the second one, where Jinx, I was like, I like the art design, and that's mostly the cover in the middle. And I was like, this art is next level and telling the story that you had explained, Bobby, with basically like the timeline. And so I think art wise, I do like the grit of Beachhead, but I do prefer just the color palette in this. And how cool is it? And I won't do spoilers optics about like, there's no main spoilers, but there's a villain, right? Let me do my best here. There's a villain who shows up, and there's another color that goes with that villain. I don't know. It's kind of like the Sin City thing in a way, where you got your red, blue, white, and black for this, and then another color comes in based on that specific villain, where Beachhead is just normally colored, right? So that was freaking awesome. That was really cool.
I'm trying to find them real quick, but basically, the 1 in 25 let's see here. It's it's each one is a different letter from GI Joe. So it's GI Joe. So when you put them all 5 of them together, you spell out GI Joe with each cover filling in the letter.
That's what Jedi Bean says right here. Jedi Ben, sorry. Yep, Jedi Ben. So and yep, in 21 reprint as well, Jeremy says. And yeah.
Yes.
Very cool. Wow, Jim Smith says roadblock too. I missed that. Sorry, guys. Trying to host and do comments. Cool. All right. I think so based on the consensus, man, it was tough. I hate doing the tie thing, but like, yeah, story, Beachhead, art, Jinx for me. Yeah, I don't know. I think Jinx is more into my world. I think like I'm more comic wise. I like the ninja espionage stuff. So I'll give the slight edge to Jinx, but I like that Beachhead was a lot better the second time around. Bobby, your preference?
Real quick, I if I had to go, I'm gonna go Jinx. But real quick, I just want to show this real quick.
Man, I gotta check this book out.
This is what Jeremy talking.
Yeah, I think it's because I didn't give you. I sent it to you in a drive and didn't get to send permission to download. So I'll just give you the permission next time. But yeah, there's the cover.
There's the G, and if you go, let me go to Jinx real quick. I think it's that one. Why I do that? That was dumb of me. Never mind. But yeah, yeah. I was like, oh wait, they're gonna be.
You want GI Joe Jinx?
Yeah, I was like, oh, nope,
cool. I'm sure people can go to coverprice.com without the E, right? covrprice.com.
Yes. Yeah, and
you go check it out. Go see all the covers. Yeah, Jeremy says those are the D covers.
Jeremy's right.
Cool. All right. And then Patrick only read Beachhead, but hopefully.
But I mean, dude, like Beachhead was so good, and I'm not giving anything away with the story as well. But there's alley vipers in it, and those are the best alley vipers I've ever seen drawn ever. And it was one of those things that I was like, I couldn't believe it. Yeah. When Skybound bought this IP, I was kind of nervous. And just because IDW did a horrible job. But Skybound has like really, really raised the bar with GI Joe and kind of have taken it to places. I mean, Baroness as a Joe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that.
Mad about it. And then now I think we all want the GI Joe.
Everyone wants the figure.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about some of the. Shout out to Full Force. They did a great interview. We're gonna dissect that interview a little later on, but we got some stuff to go on. But cool, good way to kick off. You're a comic creator yourself, Patrick. So that was nice to get your assessment of a very cool comic that pays homage to a classic, right? Yeah. So let's get into the next. We're going to run through some toy news. We're going to go quicker than usual, though, because we've got 2 more people join the show. We want to talk about them tariffs and some GI Joe, but this was a leak, Bobby, of the McFarlane stuff, and people McFarlane Superman movie stuff, and people seem underwhelmed, but this is like really blurry, bad overseas picture stuff, so I can't really. And I guess there's a spoiler in the photo. I mean, I don't really. You have to really dig to see it, so you guys are fine. But yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
Look, I thank you, Stoned. As I've lamented on this show before, I have a love-hate relationship with McFarlane. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's garbage. I love that Superman with Crypto. I pray to God the face sculpt is good. That scene that they released with Superman and Crypto, where Crypto like jumping on him, I'm like, any dog owner has had that moment where you're like, I'm just trying to relax, and they're jumping on you, like, I'm just trying to sleep. I just like, God, let me just have 5. Beautiful. That Lex with whatever creature is with Lex, I hope to get Nicholas Holt's face sculpt right again. Like coins. I mean, this should be absolutely fantastic. And I've heard, like, I maybe you've heard different things, Jitterbean, but I've heard nothing but good things about Superman. And
Well, this is yes, I did read about this too, but look, everybody has reshoots, and
yeah,
maybe they didn't show the whole thing. I don't know, man. It's hard to go against James Gunn, especially with what he's even done with just forget Guardians of the Galaxy and his
yeah,
amazing filmography, but just the stuff that he did with DC so far, Suicide Squad and
Oh
obviously
yeah, Suicide
Peacemaker
Squad
and
2. I mean, my
Creature
like
Commandos is fucking awesome. Like, come on.
my wife is not
Yeah.
a fan of going to the movies, especially like superhero movies, and like she thought like the Suicide Squad 2 was super good.
yeah.
It just firing on all cylinders. It just give me a movie like that, and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think the other thing that, and I'm getting really annoyed with fanboys in general, but the fucking Snyder Bros are just the worst people. And the fact that they're complaining that we're not getting Henry Cavill, that like they're like, no, bring the Snyder Cut. Like the Snyder Cut died. Okay, that universe bombed. It had 2.5 good movies in it. Um,
Mhm.
Look, Corn Sweat. People were like complaining about how the suit looked. Well, that was behind the scenes picture. Like they're tweaking it in post. Like it's just
Bobby, this is why we need, I hate to say it, but this is why we need Geeks Have Game.
I know, I know.
We need your movie takes, bro. We need it. Let's bring it. Give it a month. Give it a month or two.
I know.
Let's get it launched.
I know.
Let's move on to the next just because we got just so much to cover. More McFarlane stuff that came out. The Batman Adventures. Patrick, yay or nay on these? What do you think?
I think they're pretty cool. I think I brought this up last time I was on your show. Like I like them. I think Mr. Freeze looks pretty cool. Uh you know, but there's only so much room in the house. I appreciate these, and I can admire them, but it's one of those things. And I think we're going to be seeing that happen across the board. Everyone's making these giant vehicles, and I think we're going to see. I mean, especially with some of this tariff stuff going on, I think we're going to see things getting smaller, like those 3 3/4 Mezco Batman stuff. Like that stuff interests me more than this stuff. Because I could buy a Batman, a Robin, a Batmobile, a Mr. Freeze, and have it on a shelf. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
that demon guy in the middle, like he needs his
Edgerton,
own.
yeah.
He needs his own shelf.
Yeah. No, for sure. Bobby, any quick bite on this or what?
I hated these designs when they did the new Batman Adventures. I hated that Batman. The original animated series had the best designs. I think the only one that was better in this one was Scarecrow. Other than that, I'm done.
All right, cool. Moving on. Yeah, they're cool. All right, and then we got some gold label stuff here. Part 4 of year 1, I believe, and Batman and Lieutenant James. Bobby, I'll stick with you. What do you think? We got the pre-order, I believe, on Wednesday. Not today, but next Wednesday at Walmart.
All right. Well, Spike said the pre-order for the Demon is postponed. I'm not shocked there. I
Well,
love it.
everything will be at this point.
Yeah.
But
I love that James Gordon. If I see it in hand and the cost isn't, astronomical, I'll probably get him. That Batman, I want to see him in person. There are certain Batmans that McFarlane does, and you're like, oh, that's really cool. Like, I'll add him to like the 15 I already have, and those were like, this is garbage. No, thank you.
Mhm. Cool. Any quick comment there, Pat, on these two? Year 1.
No, I'm good.
Cool.
I have enough Batmans, and I'm not looking for a Gordon.
Very cool. All right,
Oh no,
MOTU.
here we go.
And we got the right people on for this. So we got a full slate from Mattel for the MOTU Fall 2025 lineup. We got Thundercats, we've got Cartoon Collection, New Eternia, lots of slides. So let's just do like Smash or Pass or something. First, this is just packaging. This is just kind of a layout. cool photography on the left, and then you got the design and the packaging. I think Mattel with their packaging is always
they kill
next
it.
level. They're just the best at it for a big company when it comes to their packaging. So awesome stuff. And then okay, so Lionel, Bobby, smash or pass?
Pass.
And now smash or pass, we always have to reiterate, if you're not in on the line, you're always going to pass. But this is more about what do you think of it? It doesn't mean, if you don't have room or you don't collect it. So what do you think of it? Is it still pass?
Look, I think it's dope. And I'm sure it's going to be one of those things where I see it in hand, like, that looks better than I thought it was going to be. But I wish they had done something different. I don't know what, but I wish it would have looked different. But I sadly, I'm probably gonna pass on this entire line.
Wow, it's a bold statement.
Okay, I'm shocked. I'm shocked by you and K-Wish skipping on this because I was like, oh, it's an amalgamation of their two favorite things, and you're both like skipping it. So
it is two things I love. It is two. Right. It is two things that I love. And here we go. Yeah, there we go. I'm still unpacking, folks, but He-Man, Skeletor.
Yeah.
But it's just
Skeletor.
There's one of those things where if you're gonna give me, and maybe I will get this Lion-O, because if you take off the really weird Thundercat He-Man armor, it's Lion-O. I'm like, ooh, maybe I could have like a reasonably priced, cool action figure Lion-O to go with my He-Man. And then in that instance, I might get him, but
cool. All right, so pass for you. Oh, I didn't get it. Pat, sorry, pass or smash?
I'm gonna smash this like my wife on wedding night.
What?
Yeah, I'm going all in.
All in on the line. Okay, cool. There you go. That
balls deep. No, and like let me just say this. Like when I was a kid, like I wanted my He-Man figures so bad to match up with my Thundercats figures,
Yeah.
I made they didn't fit, but I made them play together anyway, and it's so cool that they're doing this line, and I like that they give you the options to kind of like change up like if you want to make them look like they're from Earth 2 or whatever that was,
Thundera or Earth 3 or Thundera, depending on which.
All right, well, whatever. Yeah. Earth whatever, or Eternia, it's like, and I like that you can make it look like they're from either planet. So I don't know, I think they look rad.
And you know what, this is a good time to ask this question. I've been asking every guest. Last week we had Art with Toy, shout out to Rick, but it's like I've been asking everybody who's into Mattel or what they're doing. So they got the DC license. Would you like them to see them match their own Masterverse MOTU, or would you like to see them match Marvel Legends, knowing that like, hey, the 7-inch scale didn't appeal to everybody, the McFarlane scale, it's certainly sold a lot, but it didn't match up to like the 6-inch collector. And obviously WWE and Masterverse or whatever are like 6.5, like a weird range. So what would you like to see DC do with their with the license? I mean, Mattel do with the DC license.
Me or Patrick?
I was asking Patrick.
Me?
Bobby, you already know you want 112. True 112. You want them to match the Legends, Bobby. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I want Legends.
Yeah. You want Spider-Man and Batman to make sense. But go ahead, Patrick.
Yes. I mean, like that does make sense completely. Like they should match. So I'm with Bobby on that.
Thank you. Thanks, Chad. I appreciate that. Yeah, we've had almost 90 people watching. Where were you guys last week? We had an awesome episode. No one showed up. He was like, we had talked about, but they're here to see Patrick. That's why. But yeah. Last week we talked about WonderCon. We had a great guest, and we even talked about G.I. Joe, and none of you guys were here. Anyway, glad to have you guys. All right, let's continue. Smash or pass.
Okay,
I'll stick with you, Patrick, on this one. Oh, go ahead, Bobby.
I'm going to amend my answer. I will pass. What I mean is,
Bring it back.
I'm bringing back the patch. Yes, I'm
Bring it back to Pat.
Because here's the thing. If I can get the Thundercats, it's one of those things where I would take these figures and like just chunk the Eternia stuff and just have straight up Thundercats with my straight up MOTU.
Yeah.
Shut up, Frank. I don't need them all. Maybe I do, but like that. Like if I can get Lion-O to look like Lion-O, Chitara, like if I can get them to look like they're from Thundera, maybe.
See. Now, what's cool about her is like I like her boots in the Eternia boots. Like I might rock those boots with just the regular Chitara. Like I don't think she needs that armor stuff.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah.
So,
So you
so
can
I think it's kind of neat how you can kind of like customize these things a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You can mix and mash while you patch, right? So that's a good thing.
I mean,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's really been like a trend recently, especially with us old guys buying toys, and it's like just buying hands off a Big Bad Toy Store, like just buying weapons, just customizing. I think we're still going to see more of that. Just like the more you can customize, the more playability that you can get from these things. And God, I'm 46. I'm talking about playability, but it's like, but I'm saying like the more playability you can get from it, and still keep the mold and keep it looking cool. I think it's a win if you're into it or not. I think it's a win.
Yeah.
Yep. And Jeff, you're not wrong. Last week I was working on set and our guest was also working. So I was like, let's push it back. And now lesson learned. We're gonna go at 7 p.m. no matter what, because that was a very late episode. All right, look, this is my favorite, Battle Catman. So if I can grab him from the Mattel store, I will. This is a cool. You like what they did here, Patrick? You like they just kind of a dream type thing?
I hold that. Don't show me. Just hold that for 1 second.
Yeah, I'm so tempted to click on your screen, but instead I'll do this.
I do.
So, look.
Look.
No, hold on. I was just messing.
It's been done.
Look at
before.
That. It's been done before. How amazing!
I mean, and you really. I mean, it does not get any better than this guy right here. Anyway, and then also right? I saw what's that company called?
Bobby asked you a question. Sorry, Patrick.
But Patrick, isn't that Mythic Legion or Four Horsemen?
Same thing. Same thing. Yeah, Mythic Legion.
Yeah.
Now I saw Savage Crucible is doing this too. Like they're doing like a dragon with it's like a lizard with this his skin looks like this. So, but I just want to make note that Mythic Legions, the Four Horsemen, this was their idea. They did this first, and I mean, and it's just like sometimes when things are perfect, you don't want to mess around with perfect. But I'm still gonna buy it.
Yeah, because Mythic Legion did a really great.
Take it away, Bobby.
Mythic Legion did that really great wave where they took MOTU figures and made them like into their own. Because Four Horsemen did the 2000 200X He-Man figures, which were fantastic. I still have some of them actually.
Those and then the classics.
Yeah. This Battle Cat is. I think when they did the mashup for Thundercats and He-Man, this is kind of what I was hoping for, like Battle Cat, Panther, like the
true mashup. Yeah.
Instead of just like throwing Eternia gear on Thundercats, which fine, whatever, I don't care. But this is cool. I like the way this looks. I'll probably get them. I'll get them on clearance, but I'll probably get them.
Very cool. And then we had a nice comment here. Hey, Richard Sampson, thanks for joining us. He says the Skeletor Mumra mashup, and of course it's called the Deluxe Skelra, and it's the best figure of the lineup in his opinion. And looks, I'm seeing a lot of new names here, maybe Riot Press and fans of Ramen Toy. But if you like what we're doing tonight, please give the show a like, and if you like it at the end, you don't hate us too much when we talk about the tariffs and stuff, subscribe. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys
don't hate us.
popping on. But yeah, cool. All right, I'll go with you, Patrick, on this one. How you feeling about this 2-in-1?
I appreciate them, but it's one of the I don't like the 2-in-1 with these characters specifically. Like, I think they should have just made them separate because it seems like a way just
Now
to
you got
get
to buy
people to buy
2.
two.
You got to buy 2 now.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't like I don't like when they do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if you only needed to play with one each and
Yeah.
or show pictures and pose, and you don't need them in the same shot, then you only paid whatever the price is for the deluxe, right? $40 or whatever it is, right? So instead of like the buying 2, so you could see it both ways. All right, so that's a pass on that. And what about Bobby? You're gonna just keep saying pass?
Actually, pass. Just straight up pass. I don't
Cool.
need Mumra. I've got enough Skeletors. I mean, the Mumra looks cool, but it's like, you know me, Trav. I'm more of a heroes guy anyway. So
That's true. That's very true. You are a hero. You're a baby face. Even with that big ass bushy gray beard, you're a baby face in my eyes. But I'm still gonna buy it. Can basically be placed after every collector's complaints
true.
about the hobby they love. That's good. This is like a key comment for later. I'm gonna actually just star that on my own. Can I
I
send
mean,
you a super chat?
I only said that about Battle Cat because Battle Cat has been my jam since I was like 5.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
mean, you made
like,
a custom.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool. All right. And look at that new subscriber. Appreciate you.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, cool. I'll be good and say pass. I mean, not pass, smash, because in person, no, because I saw this at their closed toy fair before it's out in stores or out for retail pre-order, and it looks really good in hand. Okay, and so this is just the rest of what we got. These are not up for pre-order yet. You got Tigra, Panthro. Panthro's a favorite of mine as a character, and you got He-Man. Do you guys like He-Man's look here? I'm gonna go with you, Bobby.
No. What the shit?
I know. It's like someone lost a contest.
I don't know what happened here. It looks
Oh my
like.
goodness.
Can I make a joke and say it looks like Rob Liefeld drew him because the body proportions are all out of whack?
Yeah, look at those. He's got some Adam Cole legs right there. Speaking of Wednesday Night Dynamite, right? Man, what's up with that? But he's got a Brock Lesnar upper torso and an Adam Cole lower torso.
I'm not worried about the head because I know Ramen's going to make a better head.
Exactly.
Yeah, someone skipped leg day. So did Panthro. Why is Panthro and He-Man both have like these like huge torsos and like itty bitty little legs?
Yeah, the legs are skinny on all of them, even Tigra. But yeah, I mean, not as bad because his upper body isn't as wild. But yeah, I don't know, man. On these, I do like Panthro, but the rest are pass for me.
Yeah, these are all pass. Well, maybe I might get Tigra, but these are all like that.
Yeah.
And Panthro's my favorite.
Like, they're very like not exciting.
Yeah, I think that's why these are in the next wave, right? And they're like, oh, well, we got He-Man. He's like the guy you just have to get, blah, blah, blah. So they put him in the second one.
I am so tired of people getting He-Man wrong recently. It's like I've seen so many poor He-Man faces. Like that Mattel movie He-Man face.
The Dolph Lundgren one, that was garbage.
It's like I'm just so sick of it. And then this one, the face looks like a character from like a Disney movie or something, doesn't it? Like, doesn't he look like he's like Hercules?
Yeah, he's been Pixar. Also, I don't like the sword.
He's been Pixar. That's funny.
And like they should do something different with like Panther, like give him like a beard or something, and make his spikes like his spikes are almost flesh tone. Like like his spikes should be like a complete I don't know. I mean, like these are just kind of previews like you mentioned. So they might be listening to some of these comments and changing them. Now, was there some type of something invisible with Tigra that I saw, or is this all we're getting? I thought something invisible came with him.
I'm not sure. You mean like what is it called when it's see-through, clear?
Yeah,
You said
yeah, because
invisible, like,
I've
yeah,
got I got the translucent Super 7 one, and then
translucent.
I also have the translucent Bondi one, and they always do something clear with Tigra, and I thought I saw a couple days ago that they made something clear with him, but
Not sure, but if someone knows in the chat, let us know. But look, we are a little behind, so we're gonna do a real smasher pass speed round with the rest of the MOTU lineup. I'm sure we're gonna get more pre-order pictures to dissect in the future. But Bobby, real quick,
Smash.
between Terror Claws, Skeletor, and Ninjor, and we also have another Ninjor has 3 different looks, so that's
Smash.
some additional.
Smash.
So smash on both. Yeah.
Yeah, on both. Smash.
Yeah, I think so too. I'll just say, yeah, I mean that Terra Claw's Skeletor is bizarre, but I think it's a fantastic look. It gives you something completely different than what you got with your Skeletor and Ninja, the 3 heads. I mean, this is, if the scale wasn't off, this could fit in the classified line as like a red ninja. But yeah, obviously he's just going to be too tall unless you want a tall ninja in your barracks. But Pat, what do you think of these two?
I'll smash them. I like them.
Cool. All right. Next one, I'll stick with you, Pat, on these. Obviously, Hordak, we don't know yet, but it is Hordak. But Tila and Cobra Khan, smash or pass. These are Masterverse, by the way. Masterverse.
Yeah, these are Masterverse. I think I'm gonna pass on Tila. I'm gonna pass on Hordak. Cobra Khan looks pretty cool.
Bobby.
I want to pass on the Tila because I already have like 2 Tilas, but that's the classic Tila, so I might smash on all these.
Cool. All right. And then next up, we got Faker, which I smashed because I did pre-order it from Walmart Collector Con because the only MOTU line I'm currently collecting is, and I was a Masterverse collector, and of course I dropped it right when it got really good, but just, space, money, all that stuff. But I am going to continue my MOTU fandom with the retro line because I feel like they're not going to drop the vintage line, I should say. They're not dropping as many figures and it's easier on the wallet. So I smash Faker, and Stratos is in that. So I will smash on all the vintage collection until they make our truly terrible one, but happy to add Stratos. And then we got 87 Blade. Bobby, give me a smash or pass on these 3.
I'm going to smash Faker, smash Stratos because I love Stratos. Stratos and Cyclone are my 2 favorites, and Rio Boss my favorites as a kid. I'm passing on Blade.
Oh, no love for Blade.
Yeah, well, it's not Wesley Snipes. Patrick, smash or pass?
I like all these guys. Faker is my all-time MOTU favorite character. Stratos is cool. And 87 Blade, I got to get him because I have a little 87 MOTU section that is missing a spot, and he's going to fit in there perfectly.
Nice. Very cool. All right, moving right along to the cartoon collection with Grizzler, Bobby. You can see his reflection. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Pass.
Cool. All right, Pat.
Pass.
Pat, how you feel about the cartoon collection? You passing on it?
Me?
Yeah, you passing on the.
Yeah.
How you feel about the cartoon collection, which is the origins?
Yeah. I got what I needed with the Super 7 Filmation stuff. I got everything I needed from them.
Cool. All right, and then we've got Fangma and Orko. Fangman, sorry.
Nope.
I'm passing on this wave. I pretty much got what I needed in wave 1. So unless something like Earth Shattering comes out, like a King Rand or something like that, I'm gonna probably pass on these for a while.
All right, cool. Yep, Patrick.
Yeah, I don't need those. What's funny is like the Orko that already came out, the first one looks more Filmation than that one does.
Yeah.
That is really weird. And then we got the ones that aren't up for pre-order yet. Bo, Whiplash, Shadow Weaver, Bobby.
Bobby's been waiting for that bow.
I kind of need that bow with my She-Ra. I might Smash Bo, Smash Whiplash Pass, Shadow Weaver. I had Bo when I was a kid. I had She-Ra, and those are the two I had from that line. But
he's looking
yeah.
ripped.
Well, he's got to like satisfy. He has to be an equal partner to She-Ra. Like
Yeah, that's true.
Like she's gonna smash him through the fucking wall. He's like, I gotta get ripped. Nope.
Hey, Bobby, Professor Soundwave's your favorite name, wants to know if he's going to get the Masterverse Revelation Blade.
I would hope so. Well, no, because we got He-Man, we got Skeletor. I would assume we'd get the Masterverse movie Blade and Evil Lyn. Oh, we got Gwildor, didn't we? Yeah, with the 2-pack with Gwildor with Orca. So yeah.
Cool. All right, and let's continue along with next one. Oh, okay, we're done. So sticking with Mattel real quick, just a shout to WrestleMania weekend. We talked about it in the show. We've got the last time is now Elite John Cena. He's going to be the WrestleMania Superstore in Las Vegas at the convention center there in Las Vegas next weekend. And in case you're going down next weekend, WrestleMania, and you want to know when the Superstore is open, it's open every day next weekend, Friday through Monday at 9 a.m. and until midnight on the weekend. So 9 a.m. to midnight, lots of time to try to grab this. Hopefully they just keep restocking all day. Because from what I heard, he's going to be available from Walmart too. Hopefully they'll have a lot and not screw a lot of people. But on Thursday, they open at 11, the first day of WrestleMania weekend. So no price yet, but also no disturbed squid face game included, because this is what I really wanted out of this figure. I mean, we're getting a heel Cena, and he's still got the smiley face.
I know.
Stuff. So, how you feel about this, Patrick?
I've already got a John Cena. I'm good. The one I'm waiting for is the You Can't See Me, the translucent one, the clear one.
Oh yeah, from Walmart Collector Con. So yeah. And shout out to My Damn Toys. I'm gonna be hanging out with my dude Trey next weekend, catching up with him at the store, and I think he's got the he already did a review of the translucent one. He got a hookup. So
are they gonna have any of those for sale?
We'll see.
If you do pick me up one, and I'll PayPal you the money.
All right, sounds good, man. If we got a clear one, you didn't pre-order it then from Walmart Collector Con? You didn't get the pre-order in? Okay.
No, cool. I did not.
All right, cool. So yeah, this face, I like when I saw this face on the top pick Cena from 21, I was like, I'm just gonna grab it. I know it's a younger Cena, but that way I have the angry face to go along with this figure. So I was like, all right, so that way I can match it. It'll look a little younger, but at least
that's the word life.
Cool. Cena. Dude, Bobby, you're watching Raw these days and some WWE. You got any opinion on this fig?
I'm kind of with Patrick in the fact that I already have the Cena I want. I got the one with the Super Mario 3 style You Can't See Me shirt. But I'm with you, Travis. Like he's heel. Like, why is he smiling? Like I love the fact that he called that one little kid toxic in Berlin. He's like, that kid's toxic, and the kid's like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah, poor kid's famous now,
right?
For the wrong reason, but yeah.
This figure is 95% perfect, except for that face. I want the heel Cena with the bald spot removed,
and a chain or something.
Yeah, I think. Well, here. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, you go.
No, go ahead, Patrick.
No. I mean, this just has me convinced that that his heel turn is only just because they were running out of ideas for him to do. Like, I think he's gonna be, by the end of WrestleMania, he's gonna be back to being a good guy.
Yeah. I don't know. By WrestleMania, he's gonna be back to going a good guy. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, why would they make like 20,000-30,000 of these if he's just gonna?
Well, they made him a year ago. That's the thing. So not a year ago, but like
that's true.
I don't think a figure like this took a year because it's reused. But I would say a few months before they.
Yeah, that's true.
Got this face, this one right here on the bottom right there, the Squid Game face.
I
So
actually had a conversation with the like one of the main guys at New Japan Pro Wrestling at the licensing expo in Las Vegas last spring, and he said that was the most difficult thing about making action figures was because they had to deal with Super 7, and they said by the time that Super 7 would come out with a figure, that figure was already in a different faction. So it was like they couldn't keep up with how quick their storylines were going. Like by the time they got Evil out, Evil was in Bullet Club, but he had his like
bad guy.
like Grim Reaper get up,
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. No, it does take a minute. But yeah, anyway, that's WWE figures. And I would also what I wanted to add was they're doing reveals at the WrestleMania Superstore. So that's one reason to go, because I know Steve Ozer, global brand manager, will be there. Bill McKenna, head designer. Magic will be there. He was with Jazzwares. He was their lead designer for AEW, and now he's doing some great stuff over there. So shout out to those guys. I'll get to catch up with them next week, and there'll be, I'm sure Kyle Peterson, Wrestling Figure News, all the big Fig Heel, all the big wrestling YouTuber guys will be there. I'll be hanging out with them, and there'll be reveals. There'll be stuff from Ringside Collectibles and everything. So that is where we're probably going to see the heel Cena. Maybe it's an ultimate or something like big. I don't think they wanted to put that behind an exclusive, if that makes sense, because that's going to be something we want. So all right, let's fly through this because we got a special guest waiting in the wings. And we got a quick, this was a quick NECA Turtles Mobster 4-pack here, Gangster from issue 14 of Mirage. Bobby, just some quick thoughts while I fly through these slides. What do you think?
Looks cool. I'm passing. I mean, they're cool, but I have like zero connection to them.
Cool. You got any connection to this, Patrick, at all? What do you think of these Mirage Gangster Turtles?
Yes.
Cool. And there's a look at the packaging there. So you got the box there, the back of the box on the bottom right.
Some of the NECA Turtle stuff is getting a little out of hand.
Yeah. Well, they're just that's what they do.
Once I saw like the wrestling pack, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I do love the wrestling pack though.
At least it's wrestling.
I love that storyline. I love that storyline, but yeah.
Cool. So they all come with different bandit weapons, safes and money bags, dynamite, watches, and all that stuff. But yeah, cool. Just wanted to throw that out there, show them some love, and then what else we got next? Okay, cool. You know what? Let's bring on our guest, and then we'll just have to go through some toy news with him because honestly, he's here just to hang out.
Yeah.
And it's here it is. The Mighty Ace from Ramen Toy. What it do,
Travis.
Ace? Thanks for hanging out last minute tonight.
Thanks for inviting me.
Are you hanging out in your sewer? Your must sewer?
He's in the sewer. We should have got turtles with him.
It's not a mask. It's the mesquite. It's the modular sewer underground command. So hey, guy, Bobby, Patrick, good to see you again. Good to see you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was a perfect segue to go from turtles to the sewer layer, Ace. And look, we're gonna obviously get into the main topic in a little bit. In being like, one of the top independent toy makers. I mean, you're right up there. You're right on the line of like, okay, this. And so this is going to be people are going to want to know what you think about what's going on, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Of course, Patrick shed some light on that earlier, but having you both collaborate together, it's going to be great and a pleasure to have you. But look, we get a little bit more toy news, but why not just have Ace on? I'm going to go right to you, Ace. Are you excited for this movie or what?
Oh, this movie?
Yeah.
I'm kind of, to be honest, I'm kind of like fatigued as well with the superhero movies, and a little bit confused as well because this is supposed to showcase like in the past, yet futuristic past. So I'm really not sure how they can actually drive it together because obviously, if you continue the sequential order, we're actually moving into the future. So how do they actually put this into the whole timeline? I'm intrigued. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be buying my ticket to go watch it. But
Okay.
whether or not I'm looking forward, just like kind of tired now, but I would love a breath of fresh air and surprise me and then make me feel good. That's it.
Hmm.
And I think if any movie's gonna do that, it
Mhm.
could be this one, Bobby, right? Would you agree with that? Like give it it feels like a breath of fresh air. Even I don't know who it was. You're our movie MCU guru here on the show, but they did say, look, like you're not gonna bump into Iron Man, right? They were just like, this is Fantastic Four, this is something new. And we've had Wanda, it's from the creators of WandaVision and stuff like that. So
Matt
it's
Shankman,
gonna feel different, right?
So, the rumor is that this FF will be the 616 FF that got stuck in another dimension, another universe. Sue Storm is pregnant with Franklin. So Fantastic Four First Steps has two different connotations here. It's the first, in the MCU. And
Spoiler alert.
Sorry, it was revealed at what's that con that just happened? CinemaCon. There we go.
Oh.
Like, and if you watch the trailer closely, you see that Sue has a bump. We saw the first look at Shalaba, the female Fantastic Silver Surfer. Probably everyone said that she looks fantastic in it. Galactus is terrifying, and Reed is creating a dimensional gate, which happened in the Jonathan Hickman run of FF. This should be just absolutely bonkers in the best way, and I will be there day one. I will take off from work. I don't care. I work for a comic book company, so they'll be like, yeah, go get your work done and go watch the movie. Yeah.
Cool. And I just want to, before you get to Patrick's comment, I see people, they're already getting right to the main topic. I'm saving your comments if it's something we want to discuss directly with Ace, where we'll get there. Trust me. Patrick, quick comment on Fantastic Four movie coming up. And of course, this is a tease from Marvel Legends.
I kind of agree with Ace a little bit. I have a little bit of comic book fatigue. There's just been
On
so
that movie. Yeah.
I mean, there's been just so many movies, and they've tricked me to seeing so many bad movies. Is the thing,
Mhm.
I think the first lesson I learned was Hellboy, the first Hellboy movie that came out. And I mean, this is their third time trying to make Fantastic Four. I don't know. I mean, if it's good, I'll be stoked. But it's gonna be one of those things that I'm gonna have to hear some good news before I spend my afternoon to go watch this.
Right. Cool. All right. Waiting reviews. Moving on, sticking with Marvel Legends real quick. Ace, what did you think when you did you hear about the price on one of on Entertainment Earth? Usually they're pretty good with pricing and everything's going up, but this was $37.99. How does that make you feel as a toy maker? Just like when you see Hasbro pricing stuff through their fan channels, this is not deluxe. This is not, what is this? I mean, this is just mainline, this fan channel or whatever, right? Mainline fan channel. It's $37.99 on Entertainment Earth. It was 35 on BBTS, and I think it was 30 on Amazon. That's why it's sold out. But what do you think of all these fluctuating this pricing that's all over the place? How does that make you feel in any kind of way?
Well, Travis, it's a difficult question because my feeling is kind of mixed as a manufacturer, as a collector, buyer sort of thing. Because when I go to Singapore, for example, because they don't really have too much stuff here in China. So when I go to Singapore and I go to the Toys R Us or the department stores and I look at figures, Transformers and Marvel Legends and all these things, I'm actually shocked at the price, because it is pretty expensive. It's almost like a Canadian dollars because that's equivalent to Singapore, like
Right.
Canadian dollars, like 35 to 50 for a figure. So I really don't know where or how it just jumped, but I guess it does because, for example, even when I was actively buying like Takara Masterpiece or Transformers back in the day, to actually see something in the market now that is like the latest Power Master, not masterpiece, another line they call it. That was like almost, I don't know, more than $300, right? So I don't think, how did it jump from, because back in the day when I was doing business in the middle 2000s, $300 will actually get you a vintage mint in silk box transformer, right? Which is like really cool and vintage.
Right.
But you're getting
Mhm.
$300 now for a mainline brand new item. So it really goes to show you, even though, like I said, I sidetracked a little bit. I'm actually looking at SDCC to go at 10 SDCC, and looking at the hotels, I don't think I can afford it, right? And I remember that back in the day, my last trip to SDCC in 2017, I remember getting a hotel within walking distance to the convention, albeit maybe 15 minutes, but it wasn't $800. It wasn't $600 a night. So I really have no idea how it went from there to the current
Right.
state.
Oh,
So
and
getting back to
today,
yeah,
hey, sorry to cut you off, but today was Hotel Apocalypse. And
yeah.
in a way, I'm kind of fortunate I don't have my badge yet because I didn't even try. Because you can't try unless you're registered there. And I don't even want to try, especially from what I hear. A lot, they didn't work out an agreement with a lot of the bigger hotels and they dropped out of the Hotel Apocalypse thing. So
Mm.
I usually just go last minute and crash on someone's couch, or I'm in California anyway, so SoCal, so I'll drive up. But man, dealing with Hotel Apocalypse, even if you're local, is a nightmare. I can't imagine flying internationally for it. Flying
Yeah.
internationally and then dealing with those
Yeah.
prices. I mean, there's people that make a good living and they have to share their hotel room with 5 other people because of how outrageous you know what I
Like
mean?
oh,
Like it's
Yeah.
like it's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. So getting back to your question about how I feel
Yeah.
about this, I think at the end of the day, companies that is involved in pricing the stuff do their pricing based on what they need to do to balance the books. For example, as a manufacturer, you need to sell to your customer, be a Walmart or a Target, or even like in Singapore, the Toys R Us. The manufacturer sells to the customer at this price. If the customer accepts it, they sell it to the consumer. They put it out there on the shelves. At the end of
Right.
the day, if it's not flying off the shelves, if it's stuck there, then they got to clearance it, right? It's this game. So how long
Mhm.
can it sustain is the question. How long until the manufacturer may have to change the game, like Hasbro, right? Saying, oh, we're going to be focusing more on games and other stuff,
mhm.
which is actually less inventory intensive, which I can understand. So this is actually a reality. It's a reality check for us as collectors that
Big time.
gone are the days where we assume or take it for granted that there'll be collectibles made of our favorite characters, right? We may have to now be in a transition period whereby our characters may have to be virtual, whether it's a NFT or something else. But
Mhm.
rest assured that the independent renaissance is coming up to provide this gap that is left, the void that's left by potentially the bigger companies.
Hmm.
That's our
Mhm.
feeling.
And that's certainly what you've been doing, and we'll dig into that later
Yeah.
on. All right, cool. Let's just move on to the next thing, and we'll get more opinions. Look, we'll go with Fresh Monkey Fiction. They had a statement this week as well, but before we get into that statement, they're bringing back the World of Eagle Force, but it's 118. Some people wanted 112 on this. My wallet thanks them for sticking to 118. So, because 112 Eagle Force, I'd be like, oh, here we go. Here's another line because I love what they're doing. Patrick, how do you feel about what Fresh Monkey's doing? And are you a 118 guy at all?
I am super picky when it comes to 1/18th these days. Again, it comes back to that whole thing of space. Is there space for it? Now, I'm not a huge Eagle Force fan. I appreciate it, and I think that comes with a lot of great things there. But it's not for me. Of course, I want them. I want this to succeed. But even if it was 112, I don't think I would be into it. I have no connection to it. Whereby the emo Tobey Maguire, I have a connection to that.
Very cool. So this is something you'd be willing to pay $30 to $38 for something like this? Is like if you just want it, you're gonna get it, and is like these additional prices that these
I
companies.
think I would go as high as for this because I feel like this is kind of like a unique type of character.
Yeah,
you know,
it's well received. It's been well received,
and
other than the price. Yeah,
especially since Marvel did the whole $49.99 Spider-Man that sold out in like a couple minutes. You know, they tested the bar to see how far they could go, and then with this, they're bringing it down a little bit. You know, I would, just because this is such a unique type of character, I would be willing to go $39.99 with this guy.
Oh, don't say that on the show, because now that's the standard price for.
No, I'm
He's already at 50.
I know. I'm just saying for me, but I saw people saying it was for 30, and that's awesome. I think 30 is a pretty good price. I mean, again,
yeah,
I have connection
to
this.
Out. $30 is sold out on Pulse.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Cool. Bobby, Spider-Man 3 was a shitty movie, but you're like superhero movie guy. How do you feel about this? It seemed like well-received character. And did you pre-order it?
How do I put this nicely?
Yeah, there we go.
So
Do it again. Do it again.
Boom, right here.
There we go.
Here's why. Because this figure is not $30. It's not $40. It's a fucking $20 figure. Okay. The fact that
it was 2 years ago, this was $19.99, right?
Exactly.
Maybe 2.5 years ago, something like that. Right?
Exactly. This is a $20 figure. You get the cool Venom thing, and look, it's the fucking emo Toby, which I fucking hated that shit.
Look, they're paying movie rights, and they're paying for a new molded piece right there. So we understand maybe, 30 at the most, and that's why it sold out. But some of these other $35 and $38 was. But
again, yes, it's a new mold. I get it, and yes, we get the Toby head sculpt. Fine. The only cool redeeming thing about this figure is that Venom, like the symbiote coming off where he's pulling it off.
Yeah,
I get that, but other than that, fuck that. Fuck Hasbro. And honestly, like if
Bobby the shill on the show said fuck Hasbro. There you go, naysayers.
Because here's the thing, like there is definitely a line in the sand that's going to be drawn, where it's like, no, like I'm getting my Marvel Legends, like Kay Wish and I, like, yes, I'll get my X-Men. I have my Xavier coming. I've got my X Factors, Cyclops. I've got Jean. I'm pretty much like with these prices, I'm kind of like done.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to the tariffs yet. So no, look. Let's save a rant for you. Let's push along. Ace, are you a fan of the Rocketeer?
Not a fan, but I like the design.
Yeah,
interesting concept. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and they'll go right down the line. Patrick, how you feel about what these are 112 figures? They're part of the Long Box Heroes, which we'll talk about in a second. They do have a 112 Prestige line that's under development. Go ahead.
That's right. What size are these?
This is Fresh Monkey. Big.
No, what size? What size are these?
112. These are 112. Yeah.
Oh, 112. Yeah, I'm down for these. I'm a fan of the Rocketeer. Yeah, I'm down with that. That's good. I like that.
Mm-hmm. And this is obvious reuse from Fresh Monkey. Operation Monster Force. The like the Red Shadows figures we got.
Yeah. Some smart reusing there.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I like those. I like those guys. I thought the Black Phantom looks cool. The Rocketeer always needed a villain. I'm glad that they came up with one.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. All right. And Bobby, are you aware of Rocketeer on your radar at all?
I mean the comic book and the movie, yes. The canceled Kickstarter that Long Box was trying to do, I was really hoping to get a Rocketeer from that. I might get this Rocketeer because look, anyone who fights Nazis, you gotta have him on the shelf.
And,
Fun.
and whoever can scoop up Jennifer Connelly is all right in my book.
Nailed it. So, hey, that was a good segue, Bobby. Long box, the the smaller version, right? The 118 is canceled, and they came out with a statement, and they just basically were saying, recent prices and the tariffs, and this was a few days ago. This wasn't all the madness that we got today and last night and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
and they were basically saying, look, these are very small figures. They're 5 POA or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to have to pay $40 for them, and that makes us sick, because they're what I do like about Fresh Monkey, and they're working with Big Bad Workshop on this. But they are fans. We've had them on the show before. They are fans of figures just like Ace and Patrick. They make toys, but they love toys too. And it's like they just like, no way. People are already complaining about $40 Monster Force, and I think those pack out well at a $35 price tag. And then so for this 5 POA with hardly any, no, there's no way they could do it. So they had to cancel, and we'll get into tariffs in a second. But yeah, I mean, how did this make you feel, Patrick? Did you saw this news?
It broke my heart. I wanted my translucent tick, and I wanted my Arthur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about it last week, but we're getting the 112 tick. Is that make you happy?
Not so much.
Spoon.
I mean, I like Spoon. No, I like the tick. I have a thing for translucent characters. So like I really wanted a tick, and then I don't think they'll ever make an Arthur action figure, probably ever. So I wanted to grab him. But also interesting is the Daredevil over there on the left. Those who don't know who that red and blue guy is, that's the original Daredevil.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So hurt by this, they said they'll remain, committed to trying to find a way to bring it back in the future, but they got to let the madness subside. Ace, is that something like, have you thought about, I need to put a pause on anything? From the vibe I'm getting from the show, you don't seem to be that affected like some of these other, and we're going to streamline through a couple of these independent toy creators, like our friends at Savage Crucible and these other places, but you don't seem that affected by it. Is it seem like, is there a moment to pause and say, hey, we're not going to stop doing this for now? Or you just, I don't know, talk to us about this.
I think there's always gonna be. It's always gonna be good if we just think about what's going on in our environment, because again, the world does not revolve around us, but the world is revolving. So obviously, you see that this is happening. Whether or not it affects us at the moment, we don't know yet, because we do not ship in large containers. There is already some evidence that we know. I mean, there's evidence, obviously, but what's close to us, right? So there's some evidence of increase in prices, but still unsure how they calculate it, because I'm seeing some videos about, let's say, for example, if you have a container that is $100,000 worth of goods, you're expected to pay $54,000 on that, which now is actually 125,000, because now tariffs is now back up to 125. If you have not got the latest news, so it has gone from 54% to 125%. So does it actually make sense for an importer to import something to the US from China with his goods costing $100,000, and then he has to pay $125,000 more, so that he gets himself bankrupt straight away? Or maybe he has millions of dollars in the bank, and $125,000 is just a chink on the armor. So we don't know the details, right? So pertaining to us, at the moment, we are hearing that, if the individual order is less than $800 US, it's not affected by the tariff. But then again, somebody is correcting me that they might also be wiping that out really soon. So until it really affects us, it doesn't affect us in that sense, right? It's like you don't really know that fire hurts until you touch it, that sort of thing. So in that sense, my stand is just to be caution in terms of our production. We are a company that is really is integral, that we have people buying our products. Otherwise, we do not have the income and the revenue to carry on the next product, the next project of R&D. In the meantime, like I was saying, normally for us, the first and second quarter of the year is always R&D, and we start shipping normally on the third and fourth quarter. That's been the cycle of Ramen Toy thus far. So as the current situation is affecting the second quarter, we don't really feel it yet until maybe the third quarter. If it still persists, who knows, right? We'll have to see. We have heard about, the TikTok ban, and then it got reversed the next day, that sort of thing. So again,
Right,
we really
that's a
have
good
to
point too. Yep.
just be don't panic. Things will happen. Even if it happens, there's a chance for us to put on the brakes and see what we can do. For example, if the goods gets arrive at the U.S. port and the tariffs are supposed to be paid, if you don't pay it, it just means it gets held at the port. So it's still there. There might be a delay to getting the goods to your customers. Maybe at the end of the day, when everything the dust settles, it's reduced, and then it can be released. Then you can get the goods to your customers without paying any tariffs. I don't know. I'm just saying, right? So we all have to just look at the situation and act accordingly versus trying to be panicked. And then again, there's no reason, or it's insane for somebody to be buying $100,000 of goods and pay $125,000 of taxes, and then
Right.
basically, what's the point? Might as well just burn the whole thing, right? It's the same effect.
Exactly. Yeah.
So getting back to the issue on that cancel Kickstarter, maybe Bill, I'm just trying to be funny here, has a crystal ball that he saw 125% coming up, hence he canceled the Kickstarter because initially the initial 34% wasn't that bad in terms of the overall pricing. So yeah, that is that, and those are my thoughts.
Good. I love it. Let's just, before I get to Patrick's same thoughts, I just want to pull up a screen because we talked about what Bill was saying, and he's in partnership, of course, with Big Bad Workshop. Get Jason and Joel spoke today. This is the infamous, everyone's telling us BBTS. This is the email they talked about. And just to kind of educate our audience on some of this stuff really quickly, it's on the screen. And if you pre-ordered anything from BBTS, it's in your inbox and you can read this as you watch the show or whatever. But they Joel does break this down and the impacts, who pays the tariffs, when and how. And, Ace just mentioned, like it's still, things keep flip-flopping daily. I mean, we had the long box heroes canceled at 54. I think it was even 43%, and then it went to 54, and now 125. And then Vietnam was 46, and now it's 10% everywhere else. Is that true, Bobby? Have you heard it's 10% on imported goods everywhere?
So it's there's a lot of economists kind of looking into whether or not he's like whether Trump is fucking with the market to help people who have money make more money. I know, the tariffs and these tariffs are, and Ace makes a great point in that we're not seeing it directly, but later on down the year, like 401ks are already being like smashed, right? Like $20,000 out of 401ks people are losing. And yes, but it's not a trading. Like he's creating these giant drops in the stock market so people who have money can buy it in. And I think that this is a pissing contest between the idiot in charge and China's president. Because Trump, and of course he didn't put any tariffs on Russia or North Korea. I think that when you look at what he's doing, and this does affect not just collecting, but manufactured goods, vegetables, fruits, foods, clothes. I mean, how much stuff do we get from China? Right? Clothing, electronics, our toys, and when people say, well, then they'll bring manufacturing back to America, the CEOs, like Hasbro, is not going to want to pay American workers what they deserve. Like, we're just going to have poor people again, or even more poor people, right? So when you look at what this is happening, this is creating an even lower middle class, an even poorer America.
Right.
Because I would love it. God, you know, like, oh, we're gonna bring manufacturing back. Well, we're doing that. Like, look at the car manufacturing in Detroit. That was coming back. Now a lot of plants are being canceled. Microsoft just canceled a $3 billion deal in Ohio because of these tariffs. Like, people complain. People say, like, well, we want to have jobs here. Great. But people complain also then when you say, hey, the guy at McDonald's making your burger, he wants $15 like they pay him in Australia. They don't deserve that. We would have so many people then saying, these people who are making our goods do not deserve that pay. Minimum wage in 2001 should have been $21 to match what it costs to live in America. It is still $7.75. Like, these tariffs are going to fuck with everyone, even if it's just China. Like, even if it's the fact that we get so much stuff, and then the materials that we use to make stuff, guess where that fucking comes from?
Right.
China. Like, we don't have we had a pissing contest with Canada. We had a pissing contest
you know what?
with
Look. I don't want to just. That was amazing stuff, but I actually want to shift that and segue it to Ace and Patrick, because is there an alternative to China? Because all the other countries, right? And Vietnam, we have comments. Yes, classified. Ultimate WWE Transformers use Vietnam, right? I heard classified, and some of the product quality is a little, but it's give and take. I feel like the plastic from the WWE I'm getting is better, but then the paint detail isn't as good, or something. Like, I might even have that backwards, but I know there was, like, in reviews I watched and did, I was like, okay, Vietnam, it doesn't either feel good or look as good, but there's good and bad. So Patrick, just weigh in on what we're talking about right now as an independent toy maker, how you're feeling, and then also, is there an alternative to this if it remains at 125 or even 54 or whatever? Is there?
Well, I mean, I was hearing today 400%. So no, I'm serious.
I mean,
Like Ace is laughing because I texted to him.
So all you can do is laugh maniacally.
Well, but I mean, I mean, we're living in this world of toys here, you know. It's like, and this has a lot to do than just toys. This has to do with food. This has to do with war. This has to do with coal. This has to do with so much more than our little world that we're collecting, you know. So it's like it's you kind of got to step out and kind of see what's happening here. You know, like the 400% increase. There's a reason why that's happening, you know. You know, after World War II, United States, we made a lot of stuff. We made a lot of things. And in 1972, they passed certain laws that basically allowed certain countries certain tariffs. Before then, we were tariff free. Everything was open. And in 1972, it took until 1980, when was the last time we made toys in the United States. That was Empire Strikes Back in Cincinnati. That was the last time we made toys here. And it took them 8 years of the tariffs to kind of shut them down finally. Now, I've heard people talk about, oh, we can't make toys in the United States. It's too expensive. It's too hard. It's too hard to do.
Right. So can we?
I believe we can. Like, and it's not something that's going to happen tomorrow. You know, you know, and it's like, if it took almost 10 years for it to switch, it's going to take 10 or 20 years to go back. But there's alternatives, you know, and we've been talking about Vietnam. You know, Vietnam is right down the street from China. Their tariffs are more reasonable. There's places even down in South America that make toys, you know, that have much less tariffs, you know. But I think, and you know, I haven't talked to the Ace not by text in a while, but hearing him talk about it just kind of reminded me of something. We really had to give this a second and let the dust to settle. Like, we really don't know what's going on. Like a week ago, like it was like we were in a completely different place than where we are now. I mean, and then I mean, I know it sounds funny, and I was talking about $400 or 400% tariffs. You know, I mean, who knows where we're going to be tomorrow? You know, now it's unfortunate for people who have goods over in China that need to be shipped over, you know, and hopefully those goods will get to those people. But you know, new stuff, you know, there might be a hole on new stuff for a little while, you know, or maybe doing it in smaller quantities, you know, like not doing these gigantic orders, you know, like we might see smaller companies pop up, especially if that $800 tariff or thing still remains. I think it was like May 1st or May 2nd, like they might be getting rid of it. But again, a lot of this I mean, like we're focusing on the toy thing because like, you know, we're about toys, but this is about like the actual world changing.
Right. And it's good. It's good because usually on this show I always yell at my guys, right, Bobby? Stick to toys, no politics. This is the time to talk about it because it's education. We all need to be educated. Everyone on this panel, whether you're making toys, a fan of toys, you have a YouTube channel, you're a fan, you need to educate yourself on this just to, you know what I mean? It just makes sense if you want to, you know, be up on it and stuff like that. So speaking of that, we have some questions. Wish they were super chats. I'm just fucking with you. But look, I have some questions for so right here for Ace. I love your stuff, but you need to you just heard it. You better reconsider your shipping partner in the US. I don't even have my van, the Ramen Rev, Ray van. The label was created on March 27th and apparently hasn't been given to you. You have a response for SES dog?
Oh, definitely. Because I think our friend here has not been keeping in touch with my live streams and my commentary on this. Because if you have a label created on March 27th and it's now April 10th, and it's a van, it's not a small item that we are going by UPS Air, it means that's on the boat.
Oh yeah.
So March 27 is on the boat, created label. It's been how many days since March 27? Let's see.
About 2 weeks
maybe
exactly.
2 weeks. So there's still 4 weeks more. So the van reaches US shores, gets picked up by UPS, and then the tracking number gets activated. So when he's seeing that the UPS has not picked up the product yet, yes, because it's on the boat. So our friend here is not currently understanding why. Again, so I mentioned before in my stream, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. If I provide the tracking number, I get response like this about where is my product, it's not being picked up. If I don't give the tracking number yet until it reaches US shores for UPS to pick up, they said, oh, where's my tracking number? So I'm between a rock and a hard place.
Right. Toy Optics has your back. He says it could take a month to 2 months just after the label was created, just because of the things you went into detail on. And yes, we're going to talk about BBTS's pre thing. That's a big thing. We'll get to that in a second, but I want to kind of cover some of the questions here. This is just a funny one that Optics had, because on your screen you have MSUK. So you said you picked a different acronym. Yeah, smart.
Yeah, it's actually the MOOC, because the S is silent. It's the MOOC.
There you go.
So anyway, it was a play. It's a play on words with MASK, mask, right? Mobile Armored Strike Command. A K instead of a C. And at a point of time, it seems like the modular underground sewer deserves a K for command to mimic mass. That's it. That was the whole idea. It was not anything else. It's not because I'm a Tesla supporter or anything. No, I don't buy it. I don't have a Tesla. So yeah. So I guess for
that comment came from a guy who owns a Tesla. That just throw that out.
Hope it's not vandalized. So
Yeah, I hope it's all right.
No, we got a lot of heat when we talked to June from Jada when we interviewed him at WonderCon, and I was like, there's a meme going around of the Cybertruck getting blown up from Ken, Ken Masters from Street Fighter. It was just a funny meme, and man, I got some hate in the comments for that one. But hey, it helps the algorithm. So Paisano, hey Paisano. I wonder if BBTS is going to put the tariff surcharge on the Ramen van. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, tariff surcharge, because as we talked about it, they're talking about a 15 to 40% surcharge on active pre-orders. The stance before it was 125% was we're going to eat it, but now at 125%, like you mentioned, you might as well burn it. They're like, nah, we're going to give you a 15. Imagine your pre-order shipping, but it's not $30 anymore; it's 72. So it's like these are the things that might whatever might happen. So it's scary. How you feeling about that, guys?
hey, Paisano, 777. Yeah, he was in my stream last time. So yeah, I had no idea about BBTS, imposing all these surcharges. And I think it might affect some customers to cancel the order, right? Who knows? Because people just can't afford prices or being charged without like reasonable costs, right? So I really hope that it's not too much of a surcharge, and whether or not you can accept it is a different story. Only you will know, right? But if I don't mind me, if I can just touch on the mentioned earlier about all the China stuff and the tariffs and shipping. Can I just give my 2 cents?
Yes, please do.
Okay, so there was talks about stuff being made in Vietnam, Philippines, even Bangladesh, right? And until we know, we don't know. We don't know if actually Mattel has parts injected in China, shipped over to Vietnam to have them painted and assembled. Because have something being made in somewhere does not actually mean anything until you realize why it's made there. So, for example, there's still made in Japan Gundam model kits. Does it mean that it's more expensive to make it in Japan? No, because everything in Japan in regards to the Gundam model kits are automated. It's an it's a humanless factory production of CNC machines injecting the parts, and each sprue goes into conveyor belts, gets separated, goes into the box, and maybe at the end of the day, there's a guy putting the lid onto the box, and that's it. So made in Japan, why? So I'm talking about labor. If something involves labor, that's where the cost is. And and because labor is expensive in, I guess, the US, in Japan, and labor is less expensive in China previously, and now it's also creeping up, such that they are moving the laborious procedures to like Vietnam and Philippines and all these so-called not so well developed countries, right?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and then for me, as what I know from the insider, is that we have factories that I know go to Vietnam to explore setting up in Vietnam. But at the end of the day, it's still not conducive unless you're a big shot, because you have also to abide to the local Vietnamese hanky panky, if I may use the word, right? You have to pay off. Yeah, you have to pay off the local government. You have to do this and do that, right? And then again, you are still needing to supply your raw materials from China, right, or other places. So Vietnam, as a place of manufacture, is possible, but it's gonna be laborious. It's gonna really pull your hair out if you are the factory um, owner, right? So that's one aspect. And then as for actual,
Real quick, because 90% of all toys are made in both China and Vietnam. So if you were to have to shift, right, or ship both all those materials anywhere else, that's a cost right there. That just sounds more than any, like many of these tariffs, right?
right, and I guess the fact, I don't have to convince you, is that because China has land, has people, has labor, and hence they have been manufacturing for the world for the past 2 decades. But of course, the next generation of Chinese don't want to be factory workers, right?
Mm.
The factory workers' children that is now in school, they are not going to come out and, oh, let's be a factory worker. They want their children to be something else. And the fact of the matter, if I may digress, is that you can't actually find jobs in China, right? All these people that chooses not to be in the factories are left without jobs. You have millions of graduates from universities picking up jobs as delivery drivers, delivery people, because there's just no jobs. That's the fact. Okay, so that's another problem we deal with, but that's for another day.
Yeah.
The thing I want to talk about is that it really affects this tariffs does affect big companies, because I have had firsthand stories and factual stories of big box customers halting the factory from shipping their goods because of these tariffs. So when that happens, the complaint from these companies in China, which are mostly owned by Hong Kong bosses, is that it affects the cash flow, right? So the customers are halting the shipment that they ordered months ago, not shipping now, no payment because they're not going to pay for something they're not receiving. So that affects the cash flow and these are big numbers. So it's really screwing up lots of people. Again, we're not feeling it, but at least those people are feeling it. So that's my 2 cents. Yep.
Yeah, no, that was a great bat. Wow. That was all. Patrick, you got anything to add to that before you talk about the pre-order surcharge? Or
No, I think Ace nailed it right there.
that's why he's called Ace, right?
Yeah.
All right, look, what do we got here? There's something I want to bring up about the pre. Oh, here we go, right there. You see it right there. That's from BBTS email, in case you didn't see it yet. So
Yeah.
today we expect the surcharge on, and this is stuff that's like you already pre-ordered it, and you're going to get a surprise surcharge, but they are going to give you a chance to say no, fuck it, no, cancel it. Like they're not going to they're just that's kudos to Joel on that. They're not just going to charge and then you maybe disrupt your bank account or something. Like they don't want to deal with that, so they're just like, hey, if you don't like the surcharge, then whatever, right? And then they did say right here, any items in stock aren't subject to the tariff because they're here already in the States.
Well, and then also in that last little clip, like notice, and this is what I was talking about, the surcharge may be between 15 and 40%. Like we don't know where we're going to land on this. It might end up being 5%. Some people might get together and might be able to agree on something, and once the dust settles, maybe this is nothing.
Cool. Plastic. Oh, sorry. Just want to say Plastic Battles. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure. He says he's got his tracking for his ramen vans, so that's good.
Vans, multiple.
Yeah.
Yep, we got 16 of them. No, lots of tariffs not coming. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Bobby.
Look, Jamie Dimon put America, at a 60% of for a recession. And like Patrick said, like we don't know how this is going to play out just yet. There's 6%. There's a 40% chance we don't go into a recession. We're fine and everything's. Odds say that we're fucked. And when we look at what the original question of the show, are we done collecting?
Right.
I don't want to say yes, we are done collecting. However, are we done collecting to where we were pandemic the past few years? I'm going to say yes, because, and Judge put it best here, it's corporate greed. Like, we don't need these tariffs don't need to happen. But you know what? Also, to the way it used to be, how we used to actually manufacture things here. Yeah, but then what happened? America got greedy. CEOs got greedy. Look, let's go back to Hasbro. Hasbro got greedy, right? If we want to say, oh, let's make things here, fine, but then we have to pay our people properly. Like Ace nailed it. The new generation of Chinese people, they don't want to work in factories for like pennies on the dollar.
Right.
That's why they're shoving it down to Vietnam, Bangladesh, the third world countries, right? Like if you want to do that here in America, cool. We're gonna pay for it though.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna pay for it. So my wife just told me I'm yelling. And the CEOs would have to go, oh, you know what? Instead of like a $2 million bonus, maybe I can pay my workers with that. But you know, we'd have to say we're not greedy. And let's be real here. Like America, you know, fucking Wall Street put it best. Greed is good because, you know, why help the rest of our people when, you know, I could be a billionaire? You know, it's just.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, but we needed some humor on the show. And Baldy, I guess he's not. He's just going to be in the chat, which is fine. We got to fully show Baldy. You can host next week with Bobby. No, this tariff situation is to trick us into getting back at an 1/18 scale, 3 3/4.
That's great.
So, yeah, that's we love that, and yeah, hopefully we'll see Baldy. And he did ask a question. He says, "Why does it feel like everything comes from Asia?" It's just, you know, I think we already kind of went over that in a way. It's just there you go. It's the largest. Oh, he answered it in the comment. It was as rhetorical. It's the largest landmass in the world with most raw materials. There you go. If anyone's asking, cool. And then we got 78 points. Is a non-US based collector. US tariffs are what most of the world deals with bringing in toys. I just paid. Oh, so this is an international comment. I get it. He paid $35 in fees on a BBTS shipment. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so it's like the rest of the world is already paying our fees, and now we're joining the club in a way. Because you always get complaints from the UK and Australia, our friends over there, and they're like, "Man, my classified figures to me are like $50." And
yeah.
So it makes sense.
It's interesting to think though, like how far this will go, because I mean, like realistically, America is China's biggest client. You know, like we buy the most from them, and if we stop buying from them, you know, like there's going to be a lot of angry workers out there that aren't going to be working in China. So you know, this goes both ways. So it's like we're not going to buy stuff from them. They're not going to make stuff. You know, someone's going to have to come to some type of agreement in this pissing contest.
Yeah, and I think the saddest thing is that this didn't have to happen at all.
No, the saddest thing is we're talking about toys.
Oh, and you know, again, like I said before we even started this, you know, my wife has a small business, and this is destroying small business, or going to destroy. I've you know.
Well, that's the theme. That's the theme of the show, and we're about to talk about some of the, you know, stuff like that. But continue, Bobby, before we get in that, talk about what's going on with your wife's. It's like a sticker business.
Because she's got her sticker business, and she follows other sticker, you know, makers on TikTok and Instagram, and they're all, you know, just like not crashing up, but they're like, oh my, like we can't sustain this. Like bookstores are going to be like, this is a domino effect that is going to damage a lot of people, a lot of livelihoods, and none of this had to happen. And like Patrick said, the sad thing is, and it is sad, but it's also relatable that yes, we're using toys as the example, you know. But and I think Patrick, you also said this earlier too. So if I'm correct if I'm wrong, but also, you know, we have to look at the bigger picture here. How does this affect, like, not just us, and Americans are very egotistical. How does this affect us? But this is a global economy. No one likes to admit that a lot of times, but this is a global economy. We are all dependent on one another. Isolationism is gone. That died after World War I. Right?
Ace, you're in Singapore, right?
I'm in China.
Oh, you're in China, but
yes,
you get your toys. The toys are made in Singapore, right?
No.
No, wait. Well, wait? But there's a connection to Singapore. What is it again?
I'm Singapore. I'm Singaporean.
Oh, you're Singapore. Okay, I knew there was something there, but you're in China.
No, there's something here.
Yeah. Hey, dude, we're dealing with a lot tonight. It's a lot. I knew all this. All right, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. But look, there's a million. I just want to talk about some of the other companies affecting this too. This is from Savage Crucible's website. They've been making some cool stuff, and we'll show their exclusive from Toylanta, and they said you know, their Kickstarter now, granted, they may have to make another post. This was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Again, this is a thing that's changing daily, and they were like, yeah, we'll eat the cost on the Kickstarter too, but I don't think they'll eat 125%. I think
No.
that, you know, the
Mhm.
54 was what they see right here, 54%. And they said they would eat it. So it was like the, you know, that's why I think it was nice for BBTS to just wait. And then they were like, yeah, 125, we're not gonna do it. And then
That's them eating it right there.
yeah. And this is usually my thing I usually say in caps. Refrain from making any political comments. But tonight, I mean, I made a political comment putting it on the thumbnail. So it is what it is. But yeah, just to give them a shout. They did say their Kickstarter 2 plans to absorb tariffs, but that could be maybe that they just wait a few days or wait a week and then maybe update us again. That'll be cool. Just want to show off what they're doing. Give you guys some context if you're not sure what if you're not up on Savage Crucible, they make really dope like medieval creature figures,
Lizard
right?
men.
Lizards and stuff. Yeah, lizard men. So you got this is their conclusive. Of course, Toylanta was last 2 weeks ago with WonderCon, and the Shield of Dazara, the albino Lemurian. But yeah, really cool stuff. I mean, you guys, yeah, Patrick, you a fan of what this is?
I've got a couple.
Nice.
I have two guarding my James Earl Jones from Conan.
Cool. Very cool. All right. Yeah, they're really sweet looking figures there. Okay. And then the next one is another. Now, again, these statements were a couple days ago. Now, you're really going to ship this gigantic dragon at 120? Like, I don't know. The whole company would really suffer. And this is Mythic Legions. Dragon Behathair. They had no intentions of charging customers additional fees. This was a few days ago. But it's not. But the reason they were confident, Ace and company, is they said it's not going to ship till later in 2026. So kind of like Ace, they were like, let's not get our panties in a bunch, just to quote unquote, because this is not shipping for a year and a half, right? So they're just not going to like overreact and cancel the whole line and all that stuff because they just don't know. And then and just on quickly on top of that, they reached all their stretch tiers. So all the campaign broke all the stretch goals. They haven't gone to the max, but they've everything that was in stretch available is going to come with the dragon. But any comments on how they handled this, Ace?
Very good. I think the Four Horsemen has been in business long enough to know their numbers, and this just gives evidence that they can see that. Well, they think that the crystal ball is that it won't be affecting them like down the line. So that's my comment.
I do want to comment that I love how our chat tonight is like a CNN chat room. Looking over and I see numbers and percentages and political verbiage. It is fantastic to see you guys having such conversations tonight.
I won't lie. I haven't had to use my degrees in forever, and I'm like loving this.
Yeah, exactly. Love to hate it.
Movie.
Look, we're not a video game thing, but this is kind of the shit kicker, right, of the week. This was like the thing that, I mean, video games sell way fucking more than toys, right? Let's just be honest. Video games are the leading, better than movies, better than anything, right? And man, when this came out and the prices, this was this was a big hit. I mean, and a lot of people were like, look, the console looks the presentation was beautiful. It's definitely an advanced Switch, the Switch 2, but then and the price for the Switch wasn't bad considering there's a $700 PlayStation out there. Xbox has barely any fucking games. I'm an Xbox guy. They got nothing. They're still selling their console $450, $500, and they came out $450, $500 the bundle, right? But the game cost $80 for digital, $90 for physical, $90 for a Switch game. Those were $50 when the Switch came out. Almost, and this is before today. This is before yesterday, and they knew, right, Ace and Patrick, because they were like, we're gonna wait before you can pre-order this. And man, I'm real nervous for a Switch fan. You guys got any comments on Nintendo and what they're up to?
Oh, me?
Anybody? Yeah, go ahead, Ace.
Well, I really don't know about the gaming sector, so I'm not a gamer myself. Although I've only played like the Nintendo Game and Watch back when I was a kid. So the other games I played was PlayStation 1, Metal Gear Solid, and
There we go.
Parasite.
Yeah, that's the good
That was
stuff.
it. That was all.
Metal Gear Solid confirmed figures from Ramen Toys. You heard it here first. We're getting
no,
Snake Eater. Yeah, let's go. No.
No, the thing about Metal Gear is that Konami, the creator of the creator of Metal Gear, not Konami, but the creator
Hideo
of Metal
Kojima.
Gear,
Yeah.
he's not interested to do any licensing on anything now. That was what I heard from Konami. So when I met them in Vegas last year, oh, Patrick was there, right? In Vegas last year, they were saying that there is just no need to discuss this now. There's just no. And there's some third-party Metal Gears in the pipeline now, right? But it's not from me. Have you seen it?
There's what?
There's third-party.
Oh yeah. I did see that. A third party.
So it's not mine. Yeah. Don't.
It's not mine.
It's not mine. Yeah.
I want to see some classified custom.
Yeah.
Snake Eater. Look, but yeah, that's just the big look, and they call it a true crisis moment. That was 3 days ago. A lot has changed.
Yeah,
and they were right on it. They were on it in Japan.
Like my prediction is a week
Patrick.
from now, it's gonna look like Mad Max.
For Nintendo or the world, or wait, specifically
the world. Everything's gonna be a mess.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Well, what's sad about all this too is the fact that once people in charge, the powers that be, see that people will pay these prices aren't coming down. Like the Maximum Spider-Man, that's 50. That's that, right? Mm-hmm. Like the figures, they'll pay $30 for a figure with like
$30 Spider-Man 3.
Boom, done. Right. So and someone even said thanks, McMurphy. Even if the orange Cheeto does blinks and takes away the tariffs, doesn't matter. They now we can charge these prices. People will pay these. But the problem is, and I gotta hope I'm right, and the fact that people will just stop buying. Like if it comes to me paying rent and getting food over toys, like someone said, I've been collecting for 20, 30 years. I've got pretty much everything I want.
I think you're right.
Now for things like I'll let you, but for like something like Patrick stuff, right? Or like those or Ace stuff, or the third party people are like, oh, here's a $30 figure, but XYZ went into it. Okay, Patrick Riot Press isn't Hasbro, right? He is dealing with. I have no problem paying with like $30 for a figure like that, right? Or like Aces. There you go. Aces, figures, or the Kickstarters I have done in the past, right? I have no problem with that because they are a small business, and there's stuff that goes into a small business that a large manufacturer doesn't have. But that also means that I'll be buying a lot less figures.
Mm-hmm.
So now,
and I think this is the comment I wanted to highlight. It seems like a joke, but this is it. Look, because I'm asking, are you guys going to stop collecting? If you're watching the show, 100 people, please like it. You're probably not going to stop collecting. You might, but you're just going to buy less.
My wife is upstairs celebrating this right now. She's like, we're getting less toys in the house. It couldn't be any better.
I want to just touch on.
I was like, sweetheart,
go ahead.
We're not going to get less. We're just going to start buying more vintage.
I want to touch on the pricing thing that Bobby mentioned just now. It just spring to mind something about prices going up and all these things. I'm not sure what the standard is in the US, but at least from my story of experience in Hong Kong, I thought it was kind of weird because when there are less people renting rooms, you know what the landlords do? They raise the price. Likewise, when there's less people using the tunnel, right? There is a western tunnel in Hong Kong that connects Kowloon to the Hong Kong side. There's actually 3 tunnels in Hong Kong, right? So the main central tunnel that's always congested because it's the cheapest whole piece, and then the western tunnel that's expensive, so there's actually less people using it. So for them to actually, eradicate that thing, what do? They raise the price. So my logic would be, if people are not using it, you reduce the price so that you invite people to come in, right? But no, they raise the price. What's the
That makes
rationale?
sense.
The rationale is that, does that make sense?
That makes 100%. Yep.
How so?
Because
Huh?
they still have to get the same profit, because people are going to buy stuff no matter what. That's kind of like
Exactly.
that's
So
my
only
rhetorical question. Are you done collecting? I have a hard time to believe, if you're spending 2 or 3 hours with us on a Wednesday night, that you're going to just
yeah.
stop buying this shit, no matter
So
whether
it's
it's $25 or $45. We love this stuff.
so it was told to me that the reason why the toll prices are increased is because those guys driving Ferraris can come and pay for it. And the reason why the rent prices are increased is that now they're only waiting for the rich people to come to rent the place. That's it. That's the rationale.
I
So that's,
dealt with
for
that
me,
a few months ago when,
mind
all
blowing.
right, so I dealt with that a few months ago. Quickly, we're not going to get into personal stuff too much, but a
Okay.
lease went up on a place I was staying at. It went up. The owner moved back in, which is crazy, living in a mansion, now moving into a smaller house. And then, man, when I went to go just look at the other place in the community, it went way up, $1,000. And thankfully, the place I'm in now is similar to what I was paying before. But yeah, and these places were just, they didn't care whether there was someone in there or not. They wanted their price.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And I feel like that's where you're getting at with this.
Yep.
And also just so that we can also, because Chaz made a point that I'm like, okay, we also have to think about, don't growl down there. Sorry, dogs. We in November, the Economist said that whoever was going to be elected was going to get the greatest economy in the country, in the world right now, because there is inflation. There's inflation because of COVID and a bunch of shit, but also just corporate greed. The economy has been wrecked in less than 3 months. Like the guy in charge bankrupted 6 casinos. Okay, so I think there's inflation that we're gonna have to look at, but also just a lot of fucking corporate greed. Like Ace made the point, like, when landlords, they're increasing the rent. And it's also, you have businesses buying up apartment complexes, which is also very dangerous, because then they can charge. And if a poor mom can't pay the rent, kick them out.
Right.
It's like movie, like, yeah.
Right here's a great comment right here,
Great
because hey, I was talking to you guys about this last night. That AMC Stubs 25 to 28 a month is a fucking, if you go to the movie theater twice, just get it, because then you don't ever have to think about the movie price. Sure, it comes out of your bank account. Don't even think about that either. Let it, $25 is probably not going to bankrupt you. Just pay it, go to as many movies as you want, and move on, because that's the thing. You go to the movie once,
pay $25 for Juji Fruits.
well, just bring your snacks and your socks. But yeah. Cool. All right, let's move on to one more thing. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on, where is it? Okay, cool. Jeremy Padower from Jazzwares, esteemed toy maker over the years. He says the U.S. Toy Association is leading the way on a global 0%. So we went from 54 to 125, and he hopes that the U.S. Toy Association, which I have never heard of,
I've heard this for the first time today too. Like,
yeah,
someone was telling me about this.
And he said, United Global Coalition advocating for 0 tariffs on toys. Woo! 20 trade associations from all over the world help me amplify the message. And but I mean, this guy, he does have lots of stake in the game. He's been around for a very long time.
I'm gonna follow him on
Please.
Instagram. I like the way he thinks.
Yeah. So anyway, this is obviously an uphill battle, but do we have thoughts on this, Patrick? I'll go to you since you're.
I mean, I think it's a bit. I mean, I hope so, but like this whole thing isn't about toys. That's happening, like toys is what is happening in our little world. This has to do with much bigger things. So I mean, more power to Germany. I'm gonna add him on Instagram and share out his tweet. I mean, like I was saying, like before it was like 1972, there was a zero tariff on all imports everywhere, and they just changed it in 1972, and then the whole tariff war started. So I mean, why not zero tariffs on everything? Because I mean, like tariffs affect the customer, the consumers. You know what I'm saying? It's a hidden tax basically on us.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, why stop at toys? Like let's do it for everything. I mean, like what is it? Like Japan has 100% tariff on all American cars imported into Japan. That is bullshit. Like that is crazy ass bullshit. Like 100%. That like no one in Japan drives an American car because like to get a Mustang would be like $200,000. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but over here in the States, every other person has a Japanese car because our tariffs for them are so low. I think it should just be
cool.
like,
Hold on. You know what's cool? I have a gig. I work with Toyota. They make American and Japanese. Yay! They win. So anyway, continue. I had to shout out Toyota. Sorry, we were talking about auto cars. I work for Toyota too. So go ahead.
There you go. No, well, I mean, I think that's why a lot of companies do that. Like BMW has a manufacturer in South Carolina. Honda has a manufacturer also in maybe North Carolina. I think that's why they do that stuff, because it kind of eases the pain, because at least it's American workers that are putting the vehicles together. But there's also things you have to think about. Little workarounds, like Harley Davidson made in the USA, right? None of the parts on Harley Davidson are made in the US. They're assembled in the US.
Yeah, they're all, like I said, it's a global economy.
It's like but all those parts are from other places. So I mean, I think we should kind of work towards something kind of like that, where we take bits and pieces and manufacture them somewhere.
Cool. I do want to turn this into a little bit of happiness, but before that, we're going to get to a quick minute of sadness, as if it wasn't sad enough, because this is the headline, and I'm going to go with you, Ace, man. Does this concern you that people are going to, cancel pre-orders, done collecting, trimming? As a toy maker, successful independent toy maker, does this cross your mind at all?
Definitely crossed my mind, right? So if things are realities, then no matter what we do within our own power that cannot reverse the course, we have to accept it, right? So that's where I guess it now goes into another realm of discussion, because it could really well lead to something else that we may be totally futile in terms of whatever we say, right? Because we just talk about it on streams and write messages on X and post Instagram, but that's what we do. We're not affecting the decision makers until there is an effect on the decision makers, right? So you don't need me to say it. You can just look at history, and history is perhaps we're at the historical turning point in our civilization, and who knows? We just hope for the best, right? We just hope for the best,
Right.
but we expect
Exactly.
the worst. Yeah.
Exactly. Patrick, your turn on this topic. I mean, you're making toys. Are you worried people are just going to be done? Less customers, less friends in the business.
If you would have asked me a little bit later, I would say no, I'm okay. But this week, it's a little stressful over here.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine what you guys are going through with it, but yeah, but we're smiling, chuckling. We get to talk about toys, make toys, right?
Well, I mean, and also, like, me talking to Ace and Ace talking to me, and I'm talking to Joel, and
Yep.
you know, like we're like everyone's trying to figure something out, you know. So I mean, there's nothing like hard times to invent new ways to operate, you know. And it just so happens the situation that we're in, we have to put our thinking caps on. You know, how can we do this? You know, like I mean, maybe less collecting. You know, maybe going back to, you know, the vintage boom of 2018. You know, we're going back and buying old stuff again. But we do have a problem, and we kind of have to figure out how to deal with it, you know, especially people who have shit on the line, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Does anyone, I know it's 2 hours and 14 minutes so far. We're at 9:16 Pacific time after midnight. Does anybody have to bounce before we get into GI Joe talk? GI Joe discussion.
I'll have to bounce because I got stuff to work on, man.
Ace is a busy man.
Awesome. But you know what? I'm going to
Yeah.
go right to the part of the show that was I threw in for you.
Okay, thank you.
Because, all right, and then we'll let you go. How about that? So
Thank
and then
you.
I'll cut back to my beginning section. That Bobby and Patrick, you good to hang out for a little bit, talk some
Well,
Joe?
I actually have to talk to Ace. Ace, are you gonna be around your computer for the next few minutes? I have to talk to you.
You can call me after the show. Just call me after the show. All right.
Okay. All right.
You got to pay an international tariff to call China.
Oh no,
but
it's maybe yeah.
yeah,
No,
I'm only joking around. But look, I got to give Bobby, as if there wasn't bad news already, the first question that our dude Diagnostic 80 asked Lenny, and Lenny did chuckle, but no mask in the classified line. There was a laugh, so I don't know, you know, how authentic this was, right? But moving on to what Ace is talking about, speaking of masks and vehicles, you got a tease here, and I'm hearing all kind of things. And then some people, the first comment was like, "Oh, warthog" or whatever, but the teeth are a little different, and the headlights a little different. But anything you can say about that tease you threw up there on social media?
It's a Joe Fest exclusive. That's all I can say.
That's a Joe Fest exclusive. Okay.
Ooh.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that's all.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like seeing that. Cool. It's a
Yeah,
Joe
but
Fest.
you're giving me ideas on that the new thing that not seen before, the warthog.
See that? All right. That's what we do. We give you name only reveals. But no, very cool. I thought that was a good segue. And unfortunately, I don't think anybody, maybe Tony's Figs last minute, nobody from Toy Kind of Moon's going to make it to Joe Fest this year. But hopefully despite the tariffs, hopefully we're all there next year in 2026. We all got some lot crazy year this year, but we wish you the best of luck at Joe Fest. And dude, thanks for hanging out last minute. It was Ace's high, man, for you to come on and give us a rundown of your thoughts as a premier toy maker in the business, and thoughts in your international. You're in China, so that's clutch, guys. Come on, tariffs went down. So we got that dude from China on our show today. Come on, give us the like. The least you can do is like the show.
He's in the shit right now.
Yeah, I mean
he's in the shit. He's in the shit. But yeah, any last words before we let you off?
Well, thanks Travis and Bobby for having me on the show, and good to see you, Patrick, on the show as well. And I'll talk to you later when you call me.
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
Sure. Okay, cool. At the end of the show, we'll share your social media and everything. Okay.
Thank you.
I'll take care. Have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Ace. Take care. All right, cool. Where were we? All right, so we'll get back to that interview in a little bit, but let's talk about the Sarge, man. All right, so Sarge leaked last week, but then we got additional images. Now, you said, so did you hear about the 2-pack that we're getting, the Marauders, not Marauders, Renegades 2-pack, and it's not G.I. Joe Renegades, the animated, it's the Renegades hits the Slaughters Renegades, right? And there's going to be a 2-pack with Mercer, but this is a additional look at it that we got right now. So how you feeling about what you see, Pat?
I like this, and especially since you said this is like you're talking about the Renegades, like the 3 dudes.
Right. So it's the 3 dudes. Now, of course, Slaughter wasn't included in the 3 dudes, but this is Mercer's
Oh
kit
yeah,
that we
yeah,
got right
and then the
there.
Cobra
Yeah.
symbol is there up the Cobra symbol that's X out is on. Yeah. Now I'm into this. Like actually, when I was at Joe Fest last year, I kind of go in these little missions when I go to conventions, and like I picked up all 3 of them and a Slaughter. Like that was my mission at Joe Fest last year. So no, this gets me super stoked. I just hope it's not like $100.
Oh yeah, of course. So that's one thing. We had a comment earlier that from Stanley, I believe. He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna get those pre-orders next week." And I don't know if this will go. I don't think this will go for pre-order, but the wave that we covered last week with the digital renders, that it's gonna be up for pre-order on the 15th. And so just taking you through some of the accessories here.
Oh.
Um, yeah, Bobby, do you want another Sarge in your collection? Or are you happy with just the main line? And I don't know, do you have the Marauders Sergeant Slaughter too, Bob?
I've got the main line and the Marauders, so, and I'm
Nice.
good with
Okay.
that.
Do you
Yeah,
need a third?
I do not.
Okay,
I
cool. So you're gonna pass on the this one.
Yes.
All right, cool. And there's just some close-up looks. So shout out Jay Khan over there giving us these factory leaks, and give me all the Sarges. Toy Optics says, we said this is not going up next week, but Armored Cobra Commander and all those figures like Monkey Wrench and Major Blood, Snake Eyes V4, and the Claw. Yeah, we'll talk about the Claw in a little bit. So Baldy couldn't be with us tonight. He'll be with us next week, but we do show some love to the Circle of Jerks. But this is his image because this is clearly the figure that it was based on. So do you like, Patrick, that Classified is really going into more of the deeper cuts? This is the 2006 convention exclusive. Oh, really?
That's a deep cut. Because I was looking at it and I was trying to figure out which Slaughter it was. I saw the beret on the bottom, and I was thinking that Joe Fest exclusive that they did last year with the Cobra belt.
Yeah.
So I was
Cobra
like,
Warlord. Yeah, I think we got that right here.
yeah.
Too,
So
baby.
I saw that hat, and I was like, are they making that? And then when she showed me other dudes' gear, then I realized it wasn't. Although that figure is awesome.
I want the 1-to-1 scale belt that we saw at Joe Fest, man. That 1-to-1 scale. WWE Winged Eagle Cobra Championship is just insane. That would just be the best thing on it. But look at how awesome that is. Yeah, it's like the Iraqi sympathizer Cobra. This was from the class at Joe Fest last year. But yeah, shout out to Baldy for these awesome images, man. A heel Sergeant Slaughter. Yeah, Bobby, you're a babyface guy. You're not gonna get the heel Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah,
But
but you know what sucks? You know what sucks?
whatever.
I would get this for that fucking belt.
Oh yeah, but that's a custom. But
I
we're
know,
gonna
I
get
know.
the figure based on that. Not exactly the Cobra all the way, but
I know.
the kind of the amalgamation of it. Actually, I don't even have. Oh, I thought I had Mercer. Okay, I don't even have Mercer in here. Oh, we are talking about Mercer later. Sorry about that. This was the other leak that we got. It's not Cabal from Mortal Kombat, but it's Monkey Wrench's mask, man, and that thing looks awesome. Looking a little bit like Star-Lord's mask. I'll go to you, Bobby. You're a MCU guy. I mean, yeah. Does this edition of Monkey Wrench make you like it even better?
That doesn't make me like it better. I think it looks. I think it looks. It's a dope. Mask. I kind of wish go back, Jeff, if you don't mind. I kind of wish it looked. I kind of wish it looked more like that. That one's
the
like,
Cabal. It's a little bit of both in a way.
It's a little bit of both. It's very Mad Maxian and
well, that's kind of what he's doing with Dreadnoks. I mean, you remember Road Pig's mask too, right? That was something like almost like a Vader mask, Big Van Vader.
Now I love what they're doing. I think it's great, and I don't give two shits about the Dreadnoughts, but they look amazing. I got them all. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah, and shout out to Chris Scott, Grindhouse, good dude. We've had him on the show. He made the Cobra. But there's the buckle, the pants, and just another look at the mask. So the mask already has the hair on it, which is cool.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like fumble around with it. And then I always say we're crotch watching, but we literally are right now. But
Literally crotch watching.
Crotch watching.
But look at that silver. Look at the change. It looks beautiful.
Looks real. Yeah, no, it's really dope there. And then we got Battle Armor Coco. That was the render we went over last week. And then we got more leaks on the backpack, a little more detail. And then
now we're talking.
I know. Shout out to Punk with Toys. He talked about how the mask is less round than it was. To me, the renders look the same, but maybe he was referring to the O-ring mask. It's a little more modern, classified up, I would say, or whatever. So very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
I'm stoked on this guy. Now, what's interesting is the snake eyes one, or the one with the snake eyes, not snake eyes, but the one that like the reptilian eyes.
Yeah.
And there's human eyes. Now I don't like in the comic books, like this isn't Cobra Commander. It's
Fred 7.
Yeah. So and whose head is actually what's the he's a Crimson Guard. What's the ninja guy that the green ninja guy
shit, Sean. Yeah, I'm losing my mind.
Oh well, like I forget the ninja's name, but he's part of the clan. You know, he's got the tattoo.
Kamakura, but it's Sean Collins. Because they're all family.
You could pop his head off and put it on this guy too, and it would still be the same guy.
Yeah, but Kamakura is the kid, isn't it? It's his dad is. You think we could talk about Wade Collins instead of Sean Collins now?
Maybe I might have to go. I might have to go grab the comic. It's in the bathroom right now.
Yeah. I think Fred and Wade Collins are two different Crimson Guards. I think so, but we'll have to.
Well, but I'm saying like all Crimson Guards, they get surgery to all look.
Oh, they were clones of each. Yeah,
no,
you're right.
No, they're not clones. They get surgery so they all look the same.
Wade was a Fred. They're all Fred heads.
Yeah,
but Wade was a Fred, and Wade is the dad of Sean. Sean is Kamakura.
Uh-huh.
That's got to be it, right?
Yeah,
I get that right.
Right.
Someone in the chat just say you right, Moody. So we move on. But yeah. But yeah, you're right. We could. That is the son, though. I think the face I showed last week was the Fred head because he's blonde. This kid is a ginger. So this isn't that. This wouldn't be Sean. This would be the Fred head, the blonde head, the more Captain America looking.
Well,
right?
Close enough.
Right. I mean, yeah, you could have. Yeah.
What's up with the iguana?
Oh, so yeah, they went over on the Circle of Jerks, by the way, every Tuesday. Check it out on every single motherfucking channel on YouTube. I don't know, they just throw it on everybody's stream. But yeah, they talked about it. They said the iguana, and Optics is in the chat. He'll talk about it. But they called it Serpentor, but it's actually Nagahide's lizard or iguana, whatever. And then it was like merged with Serpentor or something like that. So there was like, they kind of just made it Serpentor for the toy, but it's actually technically in the Deke cartoon Operation Dragonfly Nagahides. There's a better explanation, and Optics did it on the show.
I'm gonna have to revisit.
It's Serpentor and classified apparently, but technically that he was never the iguana. That makes sense.
Huh.
Yeah, Wade is the dad. That's what I'm talking about. So the Fred would be Wade.
So but all you'd have to do is just do a little paint job on the hair and you'd be set.
You could, yeah, for sure. Cool. Yep. And the cartoon, it was Nagahide's iguana. Very cool. Yep. Fred and Wade have the same face. Yeah. And Kamakura is Sean Collins. He's the son. So there you go. But yeah, you could paint the hair blonde and use it as your Fred head. Cool. Why not? All right. So quick shout to my dude Chris, Diagnostic 80. He interviewed Lenny and Tony, and for 90 minutes, a fantastic interview. If you haven't checked it out, go do it. He did the real Lord's work with that for sure. And a couple things I wanted to talk about. We already covered the mask part, but let's see. Let's see.
I like
went
that you
over.
did that when Ace was here.
Yeah, we had to. We had to. And look, there was one thing they talked about, and they there was never a moment where Lenny or Tony felt worried about like stepping on Super Seven's toes, because we talked about that, Bobby, how they were able to do Sunbow, you know, like 3 or 4 years ago, the Ultimates. And Lenny was just like, they just wanted to build up their supporting characters, and they were just kind of going with the timing. And I think the timing does have to do with Super 7, because you don't want to release, they're not like, and basically they were saying like, look, we're not in competition with them because different scale, different price, whatever, but we're also not kind of dumb enough to just be like, all right, they did Sunbow Lady J, let's do Sunbow Lady J. Like they're like, all right, that's out there, let's do something else and come around to it, which what they're doing with Sunbow and the retro line now, which I think is good. And that's why like we're getting more Dreadnoks now 5 years in, right? Because they want to do the wacky stuff now, where before they were like, all right, we need to do, you know, like the obvious characters, like, okay, rock and roll, stalker. Like they didn't want to get into like a lot of the deeper cuts. Not that the Dreadnoks are deep cuts, but I think that's why they wanted, it's all like reuse. And then once the reuse comes out and pays for the mold, then they're like, then they can get into the wacky stuff like this, right?
You know what's funny, Trav, is that when the Dreadnoks were coming out last year, was also when we got the Cobra Commander miniseries, which featured the Dreadnoks heavily. So a nice little
no, that makes sense.
There,
for sure. On this image, Cold Slither, there's no microphone in the set. They confirmed it. A lot of us were like, well, this is just the digital render, they haven't shown everything yet. I think they've shown everything. They basically said we're just getting the instruments. But Lenny did ask, and I'll ask you guys this, would you want them to, because obviously they paid money for the molds for these parts, would you want them to do a modern version, a classified version of a band? And Lenny would say, well, then that's when it would include modern stuff. Not that there were no microphones back then, but I think he was saying like, you're if you want it, we have a lot of the parts, but we'll give you some new stuff. Would you be cool with a classified, or are you just good with just the Sunbow cartoon, Cold Slither? I'll go to you, Patrick.
I don't care, because I'm not getting one or the other.
You're not even going to try to get this.
No, I mean, like this was like, this part was cute in the cartoon, but like this was one of the moments, same thing when I saw the All Strike. This is one of the moments that like gave me a little bit of relief, because I was like, thank God I don't have to buy this thing. I don't need this. I'll tell you something that I do need is that I don't know, like, did you guys see that Jem classified figure?
What? That's kind of what I was looking for tonight. Is there really a Jem classified
there's a Jem classified figure, and then there's a Synergy classified figure.
Wow, because I actually this is part of it. Go ahead, Bobby.
I hadn't seen the Jem classified. I'd get Jem classified. But going back to Travis's original question, I don't need this one, but if they did an updated one, and made it look, I don't know how they, maybe like a little bit of a Slipknot-ish type band, maybe. That could be dope.
Okay, so you'd be interested. So I actually really, this is like 5 words, but I love this comment just because, what up, Shelf President? Just because that's a perfect Comic-Con exclusive, the Cold Slither, because the Sunbow cartoon stuff is it's in 1 episode, like Patrick said, it's not, or 2 episodes, whatever it was. It's not essential. It's a fun thing. It's a big collector box. It's lots of reuse, lots of fun. It's not, you don't need it.
You don't need it.
I mean, if you're all in on classified, then whatever. Good luck. Pre-order.
I'm happy it exists.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cool. Jem, this was part of it, right? Lenny would love to make a Jem figure, but because we see the nod right there on that packaging I was just talking about, right there in the poster. Seems like an Easter egg, right? But Lenny said we can't say we would ever do it because there's a whole different team at Hasbro from a stakeholder. I don't know if you meant stockholder. He said stakeholder standpoint or whatever.
Yeah, Gem is like I don't know if you know about this, but Gem is like super expensive. When Pat Lee bought Transformers back in like 1999 or whatever it was, he kind of like revised Transformers with Dreamwave. And he tried to buy Gem, but Gem was too expensive. Now, he was able to buy Transformers, but he couldn't afford Gem. That Gem is like truly outrageously expensive. But no, I saw, like, I was looking through like on my phone, and they showed. I should, maybe I did a screenshot of it.
All right, cool.
There was a Gem figure, and then there was a Synergy figure, and Synergy came with like a bow and arrow.
And this is custom you're talking about, obviously, because they said on the show that there would no.
No,
That's what you're talking about.
It looked like for realsies. If someone,
yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking for it because this seems like something that I would screenshot, because I remember I grabbed the wife and of course she didn't care, but
while you look for that, you want me to show the next thing I was going to talk about?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. We're going to go to the claw. This was an item we talked about for a second last week because it's part of the pre-order on April 15th. The reason I put the Cobra Claw pilot larger is because they talked about the build. It's actually a different build than the female Cobra Troopers we got, the Valkyries and stuff. And they use parts from the sniper character, and it's a better fit with the harnesses that are on the claw. And as you can see, there's more blacks than the blue, which is nice. It just gives us a different look. Let me get that thing out of the way. Just gives us a different look than the troopers we got in the past. And you can see it's nice, like a gas mask, like a looking helmet, a pilot helmet, I should say. But yeah, you got the Mac 10 and the claw. And then as far as the claw, they said they added a graphic. I don't think we can see it, but they added it from the render, a claw graphic. So they're giving it its own claw. And we'll return to you, Pat, in a minute. I'll just clean up this claw stuff.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah, they said the claw is over a foot wide, bro. 12 inches wide. That's gonna eat up some. Yeah, exactly. And they said it actually comes with a stand, but I think he just meant the stand that's there. I don't know if it comes with a full-on stand. And then the back tail wings are going to help some of the smaller characters stand up. So the tip of the wing, see on the lower left, that articulation, you see that there on the lower left wing? That articulation he talked about folding down. And then Lenny also talked about the old claw just being too chunky for classified, so they went with a much sleeker design. I should have did a side by side, but I didn't. But we'll talk about that more next week. But I kind of just want to give you that. I thought that was a lot of detail he covered in the interview about that, and then he talked about the additional handlebars and the zip tie belts that they have now. So some newness there, and then obviously a new build for the female Cobra Claw pilot. So I thought that was really interesting. So do you have the Gem classified?
I sent it to your Instagram.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll pull that up. Hold on. Okay. Well, while I go look that up, I'm
in on that thing you just showed, by the way.
Claw. You're in on the claw.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. How about this? You guys in on this while I look it up? Talk about it.
Depends on the price point, but yeah, that's pretty damn big.
That's a new question, Bobby.
Well, yeah, we're gonna know.
What's the price point?
Yeah, we're gonna know on Thursday. Cool.
I've got 2 kidneys. You know.
All right, so this is amazing stuff, man. I'm very appreciative of this. I don't think anybody showed this off yet. How are you looking? Are you looking good? Cool. Make this bigger. Here we go.
That's dope.
Look at that. All right, cool. I think that's about as
dude. Like, I think it's so awesome that they made Synergy, and they made her like globulus size. You know?
Yeah, which she should be.
Yeah. But dude, like, if this is like, of course, this could be not real. It looks pretty real. But this, I mean, because it's like, I don't know. First of all, like, why would you make this? You know, well, if it's not real, but
Yeah.
especially putting the effort into that bow and arrow.
I mean,
But it looks great, and the reason why I was reminded
Holy
of this was because she comes with a microphone.
holy mo!
Oh,
Right,
shows.
dude. Right, because then, so that's why this is definitely a custom because it would have been reused from the cold slither to make the microphone, right?
Maybe.
Uh, I mean, first of all, where did you get this? And if you got this, when did you just get this? Because if it is, it might be an exclusive, man. What is this?
I saw this last night when I was going to bed, and then I just
If you saw this last night and we haven't heard it from like Full Force and all those fools, then there's no way that this is real.
all right. Well,
It's not
maybe
yet.
either that or you're breaking news,
We're
Travis.
breaking it exclusive here.
There you go.
All right, do we have any comments on any of this stuff? Do you guys know what this is? Oh, you see plastic battles there. Come on, you guys are very educated on this.
I'm into it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like they very strategically squeezed in GI Joe, Jem, Transformers when I was a kid, you know, and it's like,
Yeah. To be fair, Lenny has been doing interviews. The GI Joe Hasbro team has been doing interviews, especially Lenny with Diagnostic 80 for like 5 years, as long as we've been on, going on maybe longer, 6 years. So Reddit thread had these from last year, and I said
okay.
I highly doubt they do an interview with Chris, who's like got the GI Joe YouTube channel, right? And be like, nah, we're not doing Gem, someone else owns it, and then this gets leaked. Like, I just don't. I think they would have given them a different response, like, hey, stay tuned, or can't talk. They might even told him before the show, like, yeah, there you go. This is from a last year, but this is amazing. This is the first time I'm seeing this, Bobby.
I've never seen this before. If they made this would be amazing.
Automatic.
And that's the thing that makes it seem real, is because this would sell out immediately.
Yeah, like, it's so good.
And
yeah,
Travis, you know how I despise 2-packs, and I get that.
Yeah.
But not just that. Then you're gonna make the holograms, and then you're gonna make the Misfits. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, this would certainly be.
I have a battle of the bands.
And the Misfits can go on tour with like, what's the Cobra band called?
Cold Slither?
Yeah, Cold Slither.
Yeah. All right. Well, that I just can't believe I've never seen this. And how has K Wish not shown us this? And he's already probably gone to bed and missing the best part of the show, right? For him, Bobby. But all right, let's move. Hey, this was fantastic.
Let's tonight, when we all go to bed, if we all wish hard enough, maybe it'll happen.
Yeah. I don't think so. But what happened here at the White House? All right, cool. All right, from the White House to the mass device.
I'm so glad my wife's asleep.
Look, check it out. So more mass device. This was a great question from Chris, and Tony said so far it's all we revealed was those like the water and all that, all the pieces that come with it, the chase stuff with the figures, and they said there's no plans for this giant room filling mass device. And even I gotta give Tony and Lenny credit. They were super candid on this interview. They were like, that's got to be a Haslab. They said that in the interview. And then Lenny asked, would you want to see a modern interpretation of a classified version? Because there's no plans. There's just a fun chase program the mass device would target. They just want to make stuff that's affordable. And they, at this point, seeing how it was in Sunbow, and they were saying like figures would look like ants compared to this. It just wouldn't be affordable. But they said if enough people want a classified version, I mean, it doesn't really excite me. These pictures do. I think it's fantastic. But as a Haslab, I don't think this is the top of my list. What do you guys think? I'll go with you, Pat.
I mean, I like the idea. It doesn't look like super sharp. It doesn't look like that great. It kind of just looks fan made. But I mean, if they kind of made some adjustments to kind of like modernize it just a little bit, I think I'd be into it. I mean,
Well, that's what he was saying. You'd want a classified version. He's not going to do a 1-to-1 Sunbow like this. He wants something a little more exciting.
Yeah,
Not that
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
great the lights, but it's just a giant phallic thing, freaking with a bunch of monitors and in the liquids. But yeah,
I didn't even think about that, but
It's the
yeah,
Jeff
these are the things
Bezos
that happen.
Mars version now.
Yeah, late night a toy kind of mood. All right, let's move on. It's getting late. We got play sets, right? So he asked, would you consider a play set for a Haslab? You know, instead of the mass device, maybe a HQ or something cool. Maybe like this stuff. I mean, the Defiant at this point with the tariffs, imagine that'd be like $10,000 or something like that. So anyway, Lenny did say that this is where where this stuff is supposed to live, right? Like these kind of play sets are supposed to live in the Haslab. You know what I mean? So, and he's a big fan of what the Star Wars team is doing with, the cantina and all that stuff. So, Bobby, I'll go to you. Do you think Haslab should we talked about it being dream projects. You think they should just skip the vehicles and head to the play sets or what?
At this point, yeah, just because we've had vehicles already, but we don't have anywhere for our Joes to be, right? Like you look at and I'll just use Playmates as an example. They've released the sewer, they've re-released the Technodrome. Like, give us something to work, because like, granted, like KJ and Tony have done amazing things. Spec has done some amazing dioramas. I get it. People know where to go, but if you're just like me, who's like a casual, I want, just give me the goddamn playset. I'll put it together. I'll put it on the shelf, and I'll like play with it to my heart's content. Right? Just I need 1 or 2 playsets. Just give me somewhere where they can fight.
Agreed. Patrick, do you think Haslab should shift from vehicles to play sets? And
well, yeah, I think they should do this, and I'm gonna show you why and how they can do it without busting people's balls. Can you share my screen real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Not me, my screen that I'm sharing it. Am I not sharing it in the bottom?
No, I don't see anything. I don't think we've ever really, let's see, present or invite. Share screen?
Oh,
would that be
hold on. Oh, they changed the way that they did it. Sorry about that.
Yep.
All right, go
Okay.
now.
All right, now, oh, there we go. Perfect.
So I think if they did something,
I'm trying. Hold on. It says,
okay.
Here we go. Well, it says remove other media. Okay, so yeah, oh yeah, now we're good.
So I think if they did something like this, where if you bought 4 of them, you would make like a complete terror drone.
Yeah,
but
we talked about that on the show before. But yeah, go ahead.
But like some people don't have enough room or money, like they just want a corner. You know what I'm saying? To throw this thing in. Or some people are nuts and just want to buy 4 pieces and build it. But I think this would be a clever way that you could please two people, like the people that just want a play set and don't have a whole lot of money, although this thing would be expensive. And then you would also please the people that would just want a ginormous Terradrome, like to put in their living room to piss off their wife,
like Plastic Fantastic, who made that one in the yard. That's like, he's like,
oh God, yeah, that's where he sleeps, out in the yard.
Yeah. Now he does with his Terradrome inside of his Terradrome. Yeah, no, yeah, we've been talking about pieces for a Terradrome, right? We talk about that, and then you build them up. They're not stretch goals. They're just like, hey, if you want to pay.
I mean, you could put 2 together and have that as a great display for a wall. You don't need 4. It's like there's a lot.
Do 1 or 2. Yeah.
So I do think it's possible. Who knows if they'll do it?
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Next up, we got a few more of these. All right, and then Bobby, we kind of mentioned Mercer a little later, but they did confirm. They confirmed a lot of stuff here. They said they're going with the normal size Mercer, and we did talk about that. Toy Optics in the chat, we talked about that, and we saw the pieces earlier. That's Roadblock's piece that we're getting. Oh no, Roadblock is the Sarge piece. Sorry, but we're getting Roadblock sized pieces with Mercer. We're not getting the Mercer from Skybound, the guy that's the deluxe, maximum Hulk, Juggernaut, Colossus style guy. We're just getting a guy that's a little bigger, like Roadblock and Sarge, but that's what they're going with the 2-pack, the Renegade.
And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I think don't get me wrong. I love the version of Mercer in the books. I think it's great to have someone like that, kind of like that towering figure, like he's like the Colossus type. But I think when it comes to the action figures, I don't need a giant, dude like that's like 7 feet tall and somehow has muscles. Like that's unrealistic, right? So make him a little bit taller. That's fine. I'm good with that.
Well, and here's the deal. They did some fan question, and one of the questions was a great one. And this is something we talked about on our interview with them was, how would Hasbro approach Energon and Classified, and what are those challenges? And Lenny was like, look, we don't want to muddy any waters. We want to kind of still keep it a little disparate, but they did love that they're married to Ripper and Rock and Roll and Classified, because that was their design, and it ended up in the comics. So they like how their stuff is influential with Skybound. But then here's what they said: how do we bring in Energon? Because they never said no, obviously, is timing. And then they want to make sure, how do you approach these characters? Are they different enough to justify, like, warrant having them in Classified? They want to do as much variation as possible. So fans have to love that. They're not just they could easily repack every figure and just that's in the comic and just put an Energon box.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that. And obviously some designs are different. Like, look at Cobra Commanders is different. Destro's is close to the same. Obviously Mercer's a whole nother buck. So that's the thing, is that some of the Classified figures that we like, Clutch, that we see in the comics, they could do an Energon box, but they don't want to do that to fans. They want to make sure that the ones they come out with there's a reason, like Duke get a beard, or you know what I mean, like stuff like that. They want to make sure the backwards hat instead, they want to make sure there's variation.
Right. And I think and I can't think of the artist on G.I. Joe right now, but like when during in Duke, when we saw Rock and Roll, like Rock and Roll was exactly like the Classified figure. There was there's no reason to give us a new Rock and Roll, because we already got Rock and Roll in the Duke miniseries, right? I mean, it's just like the Stalker. I mean, we got the only thing that they could give us was like, that Duke that was going to jail for seeing the Transformers. Okay, that's
like, well, Good Girl, we talked about earlier in the show, right? Good Girl Baroness.
Yeah. I mean, that's the key figure right there, is that Baroness figure.
It has to be in the first wave.
Oh, that'd be the first one.
Yeah.
Well, Cobra Commander, Duke, Baroness, and maybe Mercer would probably have to be wave 2, because they'd have to pay for it with some of the reefs they use in the first wave. Unless it's the deluxe. But anyway, we got a few more notes, and another good one was, how do they go into the weapons? Because obviously they've improved their weapons, and Lenny said it is the 3-step process. How iconic is the weapon to the character? And then how do they modernize these things? Because it's a Classified line. It's not just a Real American Hero line. And then, of course, cost. So they were honest about that. Like, hey, that's why with the retro carded Snow Serpent and Cobra Eel, we didn't get shit, because it was just going to be they were costed out. We didn't get the retro weapons. We told them to their face, we were like, we don't like this, but it's like, that's when they go to the third thing. It's the budget. The other thing was the made to order vehicles. Remember, we did a whole show on that, basically, like the Marvel Legends Sentinel and the Dragon Man, and made to order vehicles and lady green shirts. We covered green shirts last week. They're under consideration. Of course, they never say no to anything, but Tony did say on the vehicles, nothing to announce yet. That was a key. Nothing to announce yet. Instead of we do it, which is less. They said nothing to announce.
Yeah.
I mean, that means I like Comic-Con for made to order vehicles. How do you feel about that, Patrick? Instead of
like what are you talking about? Like not.
Made to order meaning like, instead of a Haslab Snowcat or Thunder Machine, it's up for 2 months on Pulse, and it's $180, or now at this point 250 or whatever, right? But you don't. It's not a Haslab. There's not all the bells and whistles. It's just a mid-size, large mid-size vehicle, and it's open pre-order.
Online only.
Right. No, it wouldn't be at Target because people would clearance wait.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. I mean, as long as I can get it.
Well, it's made to order.
Made to order.
5,000 of them. You're helping them out. It's almost like a Haslab.
Oh well, I mean the Snowcat. I mean everyone wants the Snowcat, and the Snowcat is a double dip because then you get Tiger Force Snowcat. So I mean that one is for sure. You know.
Right.
I mean, we still need that one. We still need what is Copperhead's boat called? The water moccasin?
Yeah.
You know, it's like I've been using that Fortnite boat for the past couple months now. That I bought that thing at Ollie's for $15. There's certain things that people would definitely buy. Snowcat, and again, also with the boat I just mentioned, you can double dip that one as well for Tiger Force.
Well, good segue to a question they had about water vehicles, because they've made everything in the air and the land, sea, and air, right? But no sea. And they asked about water vehicles and whether it's the truth or not, because we heard rumors with the electronics, not, you can't put it in the water, and these are still got the kid guidelines, even though, let's face it, how many kids are buying these things? Like none. So they said, why no water vehicles? Lenny looked right in the camera and said, we just haven't gotten there yet, but it could be that like, how do we do this with, the water safety and all that stuff? But they went into it. Tony said these are the vehicles he wanted. He wanted a night landing, a Barracuda, and what these have in common is they're smaller, right? They're not the giant whale. They did mention a whale, but obviously Lenny did say the whale doesn't have to be a Haslab. That was also very interesting. Yeah, so that could be part of the made. I know it's massive, but that could be part of the made to order thing. And lastly, Tony just said he's got no aversion to seafaring vehicles. So that whole we're never seeing sea stuff, I think they threw that out. I think we're going to start. It's under consideration. It just costs money, right?
Yeah,
costs them money.
That boat on the left, I've sent that boat to Ace like so many times. I'm like, you guys should make this.
Yeah, water vehicles are tough. I mean, right here, Optics says, Toy Optics, water vehicles supposed to be able to float by law, and then the other thing, we can't have electronics in the water. So we heard that rumor too. So, but yeah, it was cool for them to address that.
Dude, I would kill for a whale.
Yeah.
Like at Joe Fest last year, Eternia Dreams had a complete Night Force whale for, I think it was like $2,400.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, Night Force was the first exclusive G.I. Joe exclusive thing with Toys R Us. So so that's why Night Force is so hard to come by, is because it was like the first time that Hasbro was messing around with doing those teams at exclusive places. Before, Night Force was Operation Brazil, but you were able to get that at Walmart and so forth. But that's why Night Force stuff is so pricey, is because it was like the first exclusive line.
That makes sense. I never knew that. I mean, Night Force is my personal favorite sub team, at least definitely in classified. But I couldn't believe it when Lenny said that the Eco Warriors were his. I mean, it kind of makes sense because he likes wacky stuff. But are either of you guys fans of this? I'll go to Bobby. That's a lot of yellow, Bob.
That's a lot of yellow.
It looks like
neon green and yellow.
It looks like Mask.
Right.
It looks like a dime store. Yeah, it looks like dime store Mask to me. In a classified version, these actually would be pretty tight. I won't even lie. I'm not even like.
I mean, the yellow diver sold out. The yellow diver twin pack ketchup and mustard diver sold out. So what do we know about our yellow?
Exactly, mustard and ketchup and mustard sold out quickly. These should be. I mean, look, if they did this right, it could be actually pretty cool. I'm not even gonna lie.
So you're down for some relish in mustard then?
Exactly.
Neon,
That's
neon.
how the hot dog should be: relish, mustard, cheese. Boom.
Yeah. Patrick, I was kind of taken aback by this, but he was just talking about the question was, where do you see, because it's the 5th year anniversary of Classified, where do you see the next 5 years of Classified? And Lenny was like, we're going to celebrate more aspects of G.I. Joe brand. So I think they want to have more media in it because then it pays for what they're doing. Because they keep getting cut in the line by Disney at the factory, and that's why it's taken so long for this stuff to come out. Forget all the stuff we talked about. Let's have fun here. Forget the tariffs and all that. But I'm just saying, now he's like, yeah, let's celebrate more G.I. Joe stuff, because the more important the brand is, the more toys they can make, the more funding they can get. And he wants to, the key is he wants to introduce new characters, and not just like Parth Vama and Cobra female pilot. He wants actual like characters, faces. That's like, he wants to leave his legacy behind now in G.I. Joe Classified. And I think at this point, this line is so good, I think the team deserves to.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is appealing to me. So at this point in my life, I was into skateboarding and chasing girls around. But
Yeah.
when I look back at the 90s G.I. Joe stuff, I have a love for it. Like, I actually have a collection of 90s stuff still on card, like all Ninja Force stuff. I have all that stuff on card. So like, I have a special place in my heart for this stuff because it's almost like I was at a G.I. Joe at this time, but now there's a whole wing of G.I. Joe that I missed, like, that I can go back and enjoy now.
Same.
Now
it's a Classified modernization, so maybe the mustard gets toned down a little bit.
Maybe, yeah, it's like dirty. It's like dirty mustard. But like, the thing that bothers me though about that picture you showed before this is I hate that new Ostrike that they made. And like, seeing the eco Ostrike, just like I just hate it, you know. Like, who's the company that made the good one? Is that Grindstone too?
Gridiron.
Gridiron. Yeah, like theirs is awesome. Like, I don't like the Hasbro one. I think it's a little silly looking. But it just reminded me just seeing the eco one.
Very cool. And that about clears it up from the interview. So once again, shout out to Full Force, gave us a lot of great tidbits there. We already went over the rest of the stuff. And then there was another G.I. Joe interview, but I couldn't really understand anything that was happening. I couldn't really see anything. I don't know if anyone has any info from this one. Let me know, because I just don't get it. But anyway, there was another interview up there, so I wanted to mention it. And then, hey, a new video went up on a Toy Kind of Mood, and it was a new partnership that yours truly at a Toy Kind of Mood has with Death Valley Machine, my dude, Mr. Mitchell. So G.I. Joe Now and Forever is probably the best G.I. Joe Instagram page there is. I mean, there might be other ones, but he's killing it every day with fantastic content. And I was like, what if this stuff came to YouTube, man? You know what I mean? Like, because he's not a YouTube guy, he's a social media guy, and he's cool. He's always watching it. You was here earlier in the show in the comments, always watching. And I talked to him. I said, have you thought about YouTube, and or would you like to work together? And I said, I could do all the editing and hosting, and just we take your concepts. I write a rebuttal on some of the lists you make, and we'll do it. And yeah, we started off with his very first like social media posts. I scrolled all the way down, and let's start from the beginning, and we did the ultimate fan cast. Real quickly, just for funsies, who is the actor you want to see the most playing any G.I. Joe good guy character in a movie? Go with you, Bobby. Don't give me a list, just one person. Don't say Chris Hemsworth either, because he's confirmed, but just someone you want to see play any character that's a good guy in G.I. Joe.
I feel bad because he already played Shang-Chi, but Simu Liu as Quick Kick would be great.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, we didn't even cover Quick Kick in the list, and I think we'll return to this later on because there was a lot of characters we missed that were super iconic. But go ahead, Patrick. Who do you got?
Scarlett as Scarlett. Scarlett Johansson as Scarlett.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Pretty
That
good.
makes a lot of sense. It's surprising that not many people put those two and two together. Maybe because Black Widow, we've already seen her a lot in Marvel, but
Well, as I'm saying, like she fits the part like perfectly.
True, she
for sure.
does.
In the video, I actually went with Samara Weaving. I was like, she was the best part of that movie. Her figure is still one of the best figures, at least scan wise or face. A lot of people use that for their regular classified Scarlet they're like, hey, fuck the movie, but this is the face sculpt they use. Until the retro figure we got was tremendous, but the other one was, whatever. And I thought she was good in the movie too. In the limited action she saw, I thought she did great and looked great.
Yeah, Henry Golding as Snake Eyes, I thought he did a good job. Just mute him and I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, well, a lot of the precedent seemed to be Scott Adkins because he is a ninja and he's kind of got the presence. So, but anyway, that was a Toy Kind of Mood episode 217, man. 3 hours. We did a lot in 3 hours, that's for sure.
Time flies.
And shout out to Ace, right? You could check about ramentoy.com at ramen_toy, right? Everywhere, I think. Instagram, YouTube. I don't know if I have that right, but I'll pull that up. And let's actually pull up your social media here. I think I got you. I should have had this ready. Oh, I found it actually. I found Ramen Toys. It was IG_Ramen Toy.
Yeah.
So we'll go
IG.
there. IG_. Cool. There we go. We got it on the screen. Is it showing?
Nope, not yet.
It's still
not
the ultimate fan cast.
Cool. We're off to a hot start here. What am I? All right, now it's saying it's not showing. Huh?
That's not. There we go.
There we go. Cool. Now I see it. All right. Most of you guys that join us tonight know Ramen Toy, but in case you're not following him, IG_Ramen Toy, and just search Ramen Toy on YouTube. And I think he's even on the X too. But in Facebook, of course, Ramen Toy is there, and it's Toy without the S. But you'll find it either way. Just wanted to give a social media shout out. And if you're new to the channel, guys, because you're a Ramen Toy or Riot Press fan, and please like the show. And if you liked what we did tonight, I think it was a fantastic show. Give us a subscribe, and then we'll also go to Riot Press. There you go. Somewhere a load. Do you use Toys or Productions?
Oh, I use my own account, but Patrick Thomas Parnell. Those are my wife's accounts.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we don't want to do that. Cool. So I was like, all right. That's why when I tagged that, it didn't work out. I was just like, how come he's not sharing this or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, if you go to riotpressproductions.com, you'll find everything. Same thing with our YouTube, Riot Press Comics and Toys. That's our YouTube, Riot Press.
Yeah.
You'll find us everywhere.
Gotcha. I'm trying to pull up yours right now. Sorry, usually I have this stuff up, but man, we're all tariffed out tonight. There we go. I think we got it now. We still sharing the screen? Nope.
Something's happening.
Yeah.
It's probably a bunch of pictures of my new daughter, but
all right, here we go. We got this now?
Yeah. Oh yeah, so cool. There's the pictures I was showing of the assembly line in Cincinnati of them making Empire Strikes Back action figures.
Oh yeah, no, that's real cool. NECA, baby, let's bring it back. I'm kidding.
I know, man, that could be us.
It could be. But anyway,
I'm telling you, like this is a discussion that Ace and I have been having for a while. Like it is a possibility. It can happen. I mean, it won't be the same, but I think we can figure something out.
Yeah. Well, I like where your head's at because, as a indie toy maker, you got to make adjustments, and you and Ace both have great attitudes. in this whole thing, and you're realistic too. So I think this was just a fantastic conversation to dig into what we have. And man, I think you're the only guest we've had twice this year, I think, as far as special guests. So Patrick,
wow.
Thomas, Parnell, Art, yeah, man, or at least I don't know if it was late last year, but yeah, we've had you twice in recent times. So really appreciate you hanging out. And yeah, everything Riot Press. If you Google Riot Press, stuff comes up. So Riot Press Comics, Riot Press Productions, and it was awesome talking to you. I'm kind of bummed that you're not going to Vegas next week. It would have been good to link up.
Yeah. I was in Vegas with Ace for a licensing expo during the spring. So I already got my Vegas trip in for the year, maybe next year.
Cool. All right. And Bobby, any parting words before we take out? Yeah, anything? Anything cooking?
Right now, just moving stuff in. My office is still like.
That was me like 2 weeks ago, and I still have stuff, but I'm like, you know what? I'm content right now. I'm taking a break, putting stuff away. But
what's funny is, so my wife bought me a desk before we moved, and I finally put it together. It's very, very large. So I can actually do unboxings on this desk and have like another computer here. It's fucking insane. We need to give
I see it. Good thing we didn't sign off yet, because Mr. Ken Best, thank you so much. 999. He says, great show, kids. To having guests on that actually have firsthand experience in the industry. Yeah, I mean, that was the goal. Patrick and I had been talking about hanging out, and I always have a reason for everything, man. So that was like, I was like, oh, this is a perfect week with everything we have. And I can't thank Patrick enough. And Ace, I was like, oh, why not have Ace? And I messaged Ace, Patrick, and was like, do you want to promote anything? Do you have anything to show off? And he's like, no. And I was like, perfect, because this show is loaded with slides and notes, and then the tariff thing. And I'm glad that he just hung out. He didn't promote anything on the show at all. We had that one little tease before he left that he didn't even know about, and that was it. He just gave us the insight, and he gave us. It was cool because last time we had Ace was in an interview. It was a hangout, but he was like, it was all about Ramen Toy. This time, Ace was like, talk about turtles, talk about wrestling figures, talk about MOTU. Like, it was cool to just hang out with Ace. And Patrick, it was cool to just hang out with you again too, and also show off your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
Cool. All right, guys, that's going to be enough for tonight. Another 3-hour plus show, but we had over 100 there watching. So if you love the show, give us a like. That's it. Just give us a like. Help us out. And in the meantime, for Bobby, Ace, Patrick, and the rest of the gang, I'm Travis Moody, and I'll catch you guys in the toy aisle, maybe. Peace.
Peace.